gotta confess.
Okay.
I was so scared during this fight, so we tried to poison. I was so scared of fighting Nick Diaz, so we poisoned his IV. But he survived, so I was even more terrified, you know. So all the athletic commission was on my payroll, so they tricked away, and then I made it. And it went through, so I was even more terrified. So the alien abducted me and put they put the gamma ray to increase my strength like the Hulk, like a performance enhancing drug. And the fight was still happening. So right before I put some glass and cement in my gloves to make sure. And still had a crazy hard fight.
What up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another Sound of Violence podcast. If you guys don't know, we are a podcast that talks about MMA podcasts. Each week, we let you know the shows you should catch, skip, and can't miss, as well as we try and check out a couple new shows. I am Pulver. I'm here with my co-host, Chris Madaffer. What up, dude?
I am not here via the magic of Skype.
That's right.
Because I didn't bitch out.
We barely got you here, but you survived. So.
Yeah, my sinuses are clearer than they were 24 hours ago, so it's probably why I don't sound like I'm talking in a fucking hallway.
That's right. Yeah, we were supposed to record yesterday like we normally do on Fridays, and Chris was feeling like straight death.
Yeah.
I tweeted out about him having the death flu.
That was fucking hilarious, too, dude.
The fucking Cameron?
The gif of Cameron, yeah.
Gotta love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But anyway, we are here to give our picks for what podcast you should check out, and then we are going to talk about the UFC Liverpool card that happens tomorrow morning at
Liverpool.
7 a.m. That's right. That was, I don't know what accent that was.
I don't know either.
Yeah. Aren't the Beatles from Liverpool, so you just like fucking undersell everything like your Ringo?
I guess. Yeah, if I wanted to be like from Liverpool. But then again, Darren Till's accent is a lot more Scouse. It's weird. His is almost like fucking Irish in a way.
Unless I'm yelling top of the morning, I can't really pull it together.
I'm a fucking light heavyweight in the welterweight division.
It should be fucking illegal.
Yeah, it
is illegal.
It is, mate. It is illegal.
We'll get to that here shortly. But for our super official, totally not fake, super real sponsors, what is it? Papa Vodka presents Doug Stanhope presents our sponsors. I am this week drinking Pliny the Elder from Russian River, which is one of the best IPAs I've probably ever had. It's not the best. I think they're actually Stone one time.
The best is pretty subjective. Obviously, you could take a grand scale of that based on feedback.
I've had a lot of Southern California IPAs. I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of them. And for a one-off, like, I've had better one-offs, but this is the best, like, widely produced.
Yeah.
Like, hard to get.
Yeah, like the one-off ones. I've tried limited release.
Treehouse out in New York has some amazing stuff.
Because I know the one I like that's the one-off, they only do like once or twice a year, is from Dogfish Head in Delaware. They have an IPA that's really fucking
Is it the 120?
I think it's the 120, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a triple IPA or something?
Yeah, that one's good.
Or I should say an Imperial Double, I guess, technically, because a triple IPA has 2 Ps.
And then another sponsor of ours is Health Aid Kombucha. I'm drinking a blood orange carrot ginger. It's actually not bad.
That is what's up. Alright, sorry about that. Girlfriend Karen came back with pizza, so we had to take a brief hiatus while she made a bunch of noise. But you were talking about what you're drinking on this week.
Yeah, Health Aid Kombucha. I'm drinking a blood orange carrot ginger flavor. It's not bad.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird combo, but it sounds like it's probably okay.
I don't know if this even has alcohol in it. I know some of those kombuchas do. And I guess you can
it's so little, though, that if it's not on the label, it has to be under.
And it's funny, like, I've been to, like, farmers markets, and they'll sell, like, the hard kombucha, which is, like, 7% alcohol. Never tried it. Don't know how if it would just taste like regular kombucha, and you just get buzzed.
I don't know.
I don't know how that works. It's, like, it's a probiotic, but you also get buzzed. So is there, like, a...
Well, it's yeast, so the yeast still converts.
Yeah. So nothing, like, counters... Sugar. Is there, like, no countering effect, you think? Like, you still get the healthy probiotics, but you just get buzzed?
Probably both.
Probably both, yeah. And then again, I've been told, supposedly, tequila is a probiotic. I don't know about that. You know, there's merit to that. Sounds kind of like bullshit to me, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know. Someone told me that, and it's like...
That's like saying Bloody Marys are a probiotic. You're like, it's okay, I guess.
Peer-reviewed article there or a journal I can look at?
I'm sure not.
Probably not.
And anyway, speaking of super high concepts that weed people talk about, like kombucha and probiotics, I also... Oh, that didn't work well. That's better. I also picked up from New Belgium the Hemperor, which by the label is the Hemperor HPA. It's a new kind of hoppy beer blending hemp with hops for complete sensory domination. Which, that's not that weedy. It's kind of weedy. Tastes a little bit like weed. It's interesting anyway. So here, you want to try it? Actually,
I know.
I'd have to get you a cup anyway to not get the HIV.
It's all good, bruh.
It's not really the HIV, you guys. I'm pretty sure. All right, we will jump into format now that I have meandered all over the place because not a booze podcast, despite trying constantly. So, why don't you get people into what show they should catch this week?
Excuse me. So I have, there's a caveat, of course, to this. I think I have 2 catches. I'll get into the first one real quick. You're welcome. I liked Chael on this one because he talked about how he talked about weight cutting, how the human body shouldn't have to, he talked about weight cutting, but importantly in this one he talks about fighters fighting 3 rounds versus 5 rounds.
Right.
And he was talking about the human body shouldn't really even have to endure more than 15 minutes in a fight. So the fact that some people expect championship fights to go the full 25 minutes is kind of nuts based on the punishment you take.
Definitely.
He compared it to, other sports like American football, which I still think is way more fucking dangerous because your head is in a fucking bowl.
Well, and also you're not trying to avoid contact. Like, the whole point is to hit and be hit.
Yeah, you could just literally YouTube biggest NFL hits and Jesus, Chael was talking about the fighter's ability to extend their career depends on damage and time absorbed. Then they kind of went into the whole Bellator preview that they had, even though that card just happened yesterday. I guess I could mention he was talking about Rafael Carvalho, when he was champion at that time, was behind other Bellator champions as far as promotion, but it was weird. He thinks he was the current best middleweight in Bellator, but he wasn't really talking up the division that much. He talks about the UFC's welterweight division. He says he says there needs to be more clarity about what's going on with Tyron Woodley, but then again, didn't Tyron just say he's ready to fight in August?
Yeah, I think he said, basically in the summer,
card.
yeah.
Yeah, he wants to be on the 227 card, if I'm not mistaken. But, and the reason why that's smart, and he did this to Damian Maia, if he gets put on that 227 card, he'll fight the winner of RDA and Covington, right? That's a quick turnaround for RDA and Covington, just like what Maia had to do.
Right.
That's very advantageous to Willie.
You would think, for sure.
Yeah.
And I believe which episode was this? Do you remember? It was either the Great Scale Controversy or
I need to start rating
Drunk on Excitement.
I think it was Drunk on Excitement.
I think so too.
Chael is all about Kamaru Usman fighting the winner of Till versus Wonderboy. And, I mean, why not? I guess. Yeah.
I mean, well,
not Wonderboy. That does nothing for him.
That's the thing, is Wonderboy's in this weird place right now in that division. So, if Till wins, I think you have to tell
Usman.
If they fight, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, if this fight actually happens.
Yeah, we'll get into that later in the show, but good googling moogly.
Chael is all about...
fucking illegal.
Yeah, it is. He talks about UFC 225 and how insanely stacked that card is.
Yeah, 225 and 226 are pretty crazy. He says
Overing versus Blades is on an undercard. That's kind of crazy to him. He says Curtis Blades is only 25. Wow, that's kind of nuts because he's a heavyweight.
Super young in that
and talented. Jacob was talking about CM Punk's on the main card, and Chael saying yes, he's on the main card because he sells tickets. He used the whole analogy of Dwayne Johnson is not as good as an actor as Daniel Day-Lewis or Johnny Depp, but he makes more money than them because he attracts fans. Hence, Jumanji made over $1 billion.
I don't know that he makes more money than Johnny Depp, but
Well, Johnny Depp now. Johnny Depp's not like shit at all now.
No, but I bet you when he is, he gets paid way more than The Rock.
Oh, yeah. It all depends on the kind of movie, too. Because action movies do sell.
If they made another Pirates movie, I'm just saying.
And then I stopped listening when Chael talked about how he doesn't like Jack Black because he annoyed him when he saw The Pick of Destiny and it ruined his Christmas in 2006.
Right, and first off, how dare you, sir? Pick of Destiny is very good.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie.
Second off, Chael doesn't smoke weed, so that's why he doesn't like that movie.
Yeah.
Joel probably likes that movie now that Joel's a big weed
Well, I
head.
tell you what, brother, the John C. Reilly cameo as Bigfoot is phenomenal.
That's right. Speaking of Joel, I can't wait for him to assault Ariel on air sometime when they start their show together.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine if they had Joel on? Joel wants to attack Ariel so bad anyway. Oh, man. Chael also, just I think a day or two ago, put out questions from the underground, where he took a bunch of questions from the UG forums.
Ooh, nice.
Which I did get a chance to listen to, unfortunately, but I bet there's a gold mine there, because they're going to ask some fucked up dumb things, knowing that fucking forum. Jesus Christ. That feels like a Jacob move to me. Like, Jacob feels like the kind of dude who would be on the UG and talk Chael into doing that. Or it could just be Chael being Chael. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Because Chael is a weird... It's hard to tell what's real and what's not with Chael. It's all kind of a gimmick, but sometimes, like, he's fairly online for a dude who's, like, fucking 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, it's pretty interesting.
He's pretty with it.
Let's see. So, do you have... Oh, you have another skip, right? Or another catch,
I have another
right?
catch, yeah.
Why don't I jump into my catch, and then we'll get back to your other one. Actually, wait. Is your other catch?
Well, mine's this. I just want to show you.
Yeah. That'll come up.
Yeah.
That'll come up in a bit. So we'll talk about it for my can't miss, as a matter of fact. Spoiler alert. You guys already heard a clip from it. My catch for this week is Severe MMA, episode 162. Sean and Graham are hosting. Of course, Sean Sheehan, the Pride of Ireland, as Ariel Helwani says on the intro to their show, is on. Sean says he spent the weekend drinking beer, and Graham went to see the Stones, which is they're so fucking Irish. Like, every part of that show is Irish as shit. And it's fantastic. They also they talked about doing a Champions League preview podcast on Patreon with Luke Thomas, who of course is a big Real Madrid fan, and I believe they played Liverpool today.
Yeah.
Which did not go well for Liverpool.
I don't think it would.
So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out with the UFC attendance. The reason I think people should check this show out is they're very in tune with the UK MMA scene, and a lot of these fighters come from either Cage Warriors or Bama, so they have a pretty good history with a lot of them. They make some comparisons to UFC Dublin, of course, because there's a bunch of fighters like Molly McCann and them on the card, but they essentially say they don't think it's going to be received quite as well as UFC Dublin, just because there's not as many young up-and-comers from that area.
Yeah.
It's basically just Molly and Darren, and then a couple English dudes like Darren Stewart.
And Tom Breeze is fighting too.
Yeah, Tom Breeze. So, it's just interesting getting their take. Talk about how the Liverpool-Real Madrid... almost said soccer match, but I don't want to get stabbed. The footy, it could affect the card and basically the attendance and all that. Then they preview Bellator 200, talk UFC Chile, and they suggest starting a GoFundMe for Chuck Liddell to not fight, which I was really happy about.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious, but they just have really, like I tweeted out earlier in the week, and Sean actually tweeted me back a hilarious fist bump gif.
If I started GoFundMe, even though he wouldn't need it because he already has enough of it, I just started GoFundMe for him to do more cocaine so he doesn't fight? Or do you think no? Because he doesn't.
I think more cocaine is going to lead to more fighting.
Yeah, because he'll be more amped. Yeah,
right.
Fuck.
So let's start a campaign to get Chuck to start smoking weed, just chilling out, hanging out with John Hackleman more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that show is fantastic. I highly recommend people give it a listen. They are very consistent. They put out a ton of content. They do their homework, and Sean and them are Sean especially. That dude works his ass off, and he's constantly on shows like Submission Radio and everybody like that. So highly recommend giving that a listen. I really enjoyed it. And let's see, since your other catch is actually going to come up as my can't miss, why don't we get to the show you recommend people should skip this week? Also, we should say the skip. So this is not the show's opinion. This is Pulver, me. This is my opinion, 100%. From now on, until he goes to ESPN, this is officially the skip sponsored by Ariel Helwani and the MMA Fortnite. So can't fucking do it anymore, man. That motherfucker he tweeted out about how Bobby Razak was coming on the show to talk about Mask, the documentary.
Yeah.
Which is good. I'm glad he's giving Bobby some recognition for that documentary. And he's like tweeted out about how it's like, oh, it's very important to MMA and it means a lot to the community and you really shouldn't miss it, which is all true. However, the week that documentary came out, Ariel also had, instead of Bobby Razak, he had on the fucking guy who made the WWE documentary about goddamn Andre the Giant on, instead of Bobby Razak, who put out a documentary about Charles Mask Lewis.
That's upsetting.
And that documentary about Andre the Giant didn't come out till the following week.
Oh god, talk about timing.
Yeah, so I can't do it anymore, man. He doesn't give a shit about sport. It's getting blatantly obvious.
For me, it's up. And I'll admit I haven't listened to like his full show.
Well, that's the thing too. No, there's no reason.
I'll look at this guest interests me and listen to part of their interview. Or,
right.
You know what I want to hear. It's I don't know. I like Ariel Helwani as a journalist. He's a fucking fantastic journalist.
He was.
It's okay.
He seems to be getting worse.
He is
just like clickbait now.
He is regressing. For sure. I think he's good as far as like his scoops. I think he does a good job.
That's
active.
His big thing is scoops.
Yeah, he's great at that.
But that's also because he's a shit stirrer. That's why he gets
needs
scoops.
To just tone it down with. I don't know.
I'm tired of him putting. We have. We have
him on the phone right now.
You can tell he's such a Howard Stern fan. Maybe that's why I hate Ariel, is because I hate Howard Stern. Yeah. I think Howard Stern. By the way, I apologize to the audience, who I'm sure I'm pissing off all of you when I say this. I think he's so fucking hacky. I think Howard Stern is the most hacky old man ever on radio broadcasts. He makes Adam Carolla look like he's super in touch. And I love Adam, but he's not super in touch.
If Ariel goes full Howard Stern, you already know his in-studio guest. He's
Molly McCann writing a Sibian this week.
Yeah, we're just gonna go, hey, Darren Till, can you just show us your cock real quick? Shit like that.
Yeah. Darren Till, how many women have you impregnated since the Brazilian?
Yeah.
That's how oh god. Yeah, I just can't do Ariel's show anymore. So luckily there's only I think 3 more weeks of it until he moves over to ESPN, and then we'll see how they there's no way they let him do 3.5 hours.
No, fuck no.
They're gonna tighten that
already
up.
Just because he has his regular show.
He has a separate one from Chael.
Yeah.
It's going to be called Ariel Helwani's MMA Podcast. They dropped the word hour from it because it's not an hour long. But anyway, enough ranting about Ariel since I didn't even listen to his show this week. Instead, I listened to like 5 other podcasts that were all... Well, no, they weren't all as good, but...
So, my skip was the Unfiltered with Dan Hardy. That's the thing. The catch is, though, the Dan Hardy interview was fantastic.
So I actually listened to like the first little bit of that. Bobby Kelly's in studio, right?
Yeah.
With Jim,
the only reason why this is a skip is after the Dan Hardy stuff, I totally got lost what the fuck they're talking about, and I zoned out.
Well, just turn into
I guess it's kind of fucked up for me to admit that, and I was but then again, I was feeling like shit.
Didn't it also like basically stop being an MMA podcast around that point?
Yeah, they were just talking about other stuff.
Talking about comedy because of Jim Norton and Bobby Kelly.
Fine, I don't mind, but I was just like, but the Dan Hardy interview was great. Dan Hardy.
Apart from his audio.
Yeah, it was
a little rough.
Yeah, but he was talking about growing up in England, his youth, getting into fighting when he was like a teenager. He talked about he's kind of more introverted, likes to like read books and just kind of stick to himself. Apparently, he's like a huge Lego nerd, which is kind of interesting.
That doesn't surprise me. He's a interesting dude. He has a lot of weird hobbies that you'd be like, really?
I feel like a lot of like people who are into fighting would have the most interesting or weird kind of introverted hobbies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You already know, like, who is it? Isn't there a fighter that likes Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, there's a couple. Josh Barnett is the...
And then someone... World of Warcraft, anyone could play that shit.
Rhonda, love...
Yeah,
wow.
But you know what I mean? Shit like stuff like that, like you wouldn't think...
all the DBZ nerds that fight.
Well, dude,
from
any
Carlos
fighter...
Newton
Come on, let's
to fucking Jake Smith.
Like every fucking fight. Fucking Wonderboy loves Vegeta.
Roxy.
Yeah, shit like that. Well... But you know what I mean.
MVP is a big Dragon Ball fan.
Oh, he's a huge Pokemon guy, too.
That too, yeah. Tony.
He's the biggest nerd and just weird guy in general.
Yeah, there's a crazy amount of fighters who love DBZ.
Yeah, I remember fucking in that one interview leading up to the Khabib fight that unfortunately didn't happen. Hopefully it will. Tony's like, I'm gonna be Goku out of the hyperbolic time chamber. I'm gonna go KO Ken on his ass.
Yeah. Also for all of you,
all while wearing his glasses.
Yeah. Also for all you grandpas out there, DBZ is Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Actually, you guys probably remember it as Dragon Ball.
No, hey, they probably watched it live, like when it was actually airing.
Yeah, or actual Dragon Ball where they're all babies and shit in the 80s.
Yeah.
God, that show.
Anyways, yeah. So they were talking about stuff like that. He talked about his interview with Darren Till, and I need to watch this. It's on Fight Pass. It's called like Darren Till in Depth.
Yeah, they
it's
did a big sit down. Yeah,
I watched part of it.
It's
on
supposed
YouTube.
to be better than the Megan O'Leary one.
It was cool. It was really cool. Kind of listening to Darren Till. Yes, I actually can understand him. I don't need subtitles. It's a little, his Scouse accent is definitely a pretty.
I do gnarly. Okay. I feel like ever since I watched Train Spotting, I've been able to pick out accents pretty well, like UK accents. I do way better after that.
Well, because it's like if you look at the UK, it's like the 4 countries. They're kind of like 4 states or 4 regions.
Yeah.
Fucking England, Wales. Scotland. I'm sorry, yep. I know you're not in.
A fucking dancer.
Yeah. Or Northern Ireland, but and then you have like the different. It's just like the United States. Any city, any state's gonna have its own accent.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't realize that. Obviously, the only thing I think of is like the proper English accent. Which what the fuck is that? Like London or like a Cockney accent.
Yeah, it's just drop down in London town.
Yeah, Harry Potter, you're a wizard, Harry. Shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like Russell, but I'm like, hello, you can't. Like okay, but
right.
But that was really cool talking to him how a lot of people are attracted to Darren Till as a fighter and a personality because of his confidence. I think he's only about to be 25. He has kind of, it's not like a cocky attitude, but you see it when you see Darren Till fight. He knows what he's doing. I don't think he's really
overly
cocky.
confident, for sure.
A little bit, yeah.
Or I should say overtly, not overly.
But I think he's a humble and respectful fighter, too. He showed respect to Wonderboy and the weigh-ins.
Cowboy, too.
And,
well, he didn't show respect to Wonderboy at the weigh-ins, but we'll get to that later.
Well, yeah. They asked Dan Hardy, like, is it me or is it insane the fact that you fought Anthony Johnson?
Yeah.
At one point.
How dare the UFC?
And I think Dan, I can't remember how that ended. If it was a decision, I think he escaped with the decision.
I don't remember, to be honest.
But I think he said, "I'm lucky I didn't get my head blown off."
I mean, basically, yeah. Anthony Johnson.
I can't remember how that went.
Crazy.
I have to watch that fight later. I gotta see how the fuck.
Yeah,
I know Anthony Johnson probably missed weight, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll check it out on the break when we have some pizza.
But yeah, it's kind of unfair that I said to skip, but it's mainly because after the great interview with Dan Hardy, they kind of just didn't talk about MMA.
Yeah, so. I mean, understandably. My skip for this week is another MMA podcast, episode 334. A lot of times you see him as AMP. So this is one of those podcasts that always shows up on, MMApodcast.com. And I think I've listened to it before, but I'm not sure.
I remember I've listened to it a couple of times, but it's been a while.
Yeah, we should start with the audio is fucking horrible, which is a big part of why I had a problem with it. I wrote a note saying, like, it sounds like they're using fucking Blog Talk Radio or something like that to record the podcast, because it sounds like they're calling in, and it sounds horrible. Turns out 100% was Blog Talk Radio, which I only know about because of Rucka Ali's Power Hour that he used to host. Rucka Ali.
Oh, yeah.
He's hilarious. He does a lot of parody shit and is a funny motherfucker that I met through Geo and Dune. But anyway, that the audio's rough, and then on top of that, it's the MMA Junkie radio callers. If you ever heard that show, it's DJ Tony and Proteus, who are 2 callers. They call into that show all the time.
I've heard those 2 names.
DJ Tony does the overt, like, radio voice all the time. Like,
like Handsome Dan from Wayne's World is a wacky.
He does that a lot. And evidently,
that's kind of funny.
It's
or is it get old?
Well, it's not intentional. It's just how he thinks radio's supposed to sound.
Oh wait, you mean it's not a?
It's not a joke. Like it's just
like
just how he talks.
Oh shit!
On at least on air and on MMA Junkie when he calls in. So it's pretty.
You're here with the Gator and the Lunatic.
I think this is crazy. Gina Mazzani is a looker. A lot of that stuff. You're like, good God,
that KGB Lee versus Macedo fight? God damn,
dude. Literally, give me 2 seconds, because we will get to that in just a second.
Okay.
Although, evidently, on another MMA podcast, Marco does guest, Marco from Waco, Que Pasa Homes, does guest on their pick show. I think it's, God, Smack My Picks Up, I think is the name.
Oh, I remember that name, Marco.
So Marco, Marco's actually cool. I like Marco, and I think Showtime from Tennessee also does that show every once in a while. So that actually sounds good. This one I have a skip. We can start with the fact that they played the clip of the "What's Up" stuff in the beginning, which is immediately. I mean, I get DJ Tony is old, but good God, man. That was 30 years ago. That was popular. Literally 30 years ago. Maybe more. So it's just rough. They recap UFC Chile, and the entire time in the background, the Tale of the Tape music is on loop. So it's like dun 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 dun.
Oh, this podcast. Yeah, no. I like the guests and the input. It's great, but yeah, that kind of was like, what the fuck is going on?
It's very distracting, and it like will stop, and then you can hear it start again.
Wait, is it the current Tale of Tape or the older one where you can hear the?
No, it's not Gladiator Man style. Yeah, no. It's the new one where it's just like it's rough. They complain about how Kamaru Usman is constantly full of excuses, and the main event was boring. And then DJ Tony gets super creepy. He's like, KGB Macedo is probably the hottest fight ever. Also, the Crazian and I forget who the Crazian. Anyway, the Crazian's an MMA fighter. Super hot Asian chick.
I was gonna say crazy Asian.
Yeah, I keep wanting to call her Angela Lee, but that's not who it is. It's I want to say her last name is Lee. I might be butchering that. It's fucking me up because KGB was also talked about right then. But he's like, maybe the hottest card ever. Yeah, KGB Lee versus Macedo, and then the Crazian was coaching. It's just like, he sounds way less West Coast than I do about it, but just way more like wacky radio. It drives me nuts.
Just imagine me and you talk like this for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, it's just so over the top, and then like just being creepy about Angela Lee and Veronica Macedo, and it just zero value add by listening to the show.
Oh man, when Angela Lee was trying to get her back, holy shit, that was hot.
Yeah, the north-south position. Oh god, it's bad.
Don't call it 69.
Don't call it a comeback, because I'm about to... Never mind. So, the one decent part they had on the show is the up-down report, which in theory is kind of interesting. Like, oh, who moves up in the rankings, who moves down in the rankings.
Yeah,
but like,
it's the rankings.
It's also just, who cares about the rankings? Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, tell that to Big Mac.
I want to listen to their, I'm going to listen to their Smack My Picks Up episode, because evidently it's Marco from Waco and Showtime on this week, and those are two of my favorite callers to MMA Junkie Radio. They're both great. Showtime from Tennessee is a truck driver, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
And then Marco from Waco is from Waco, Texas, and he's named Marco, and he's goofy as hell. So I'm gonna check that show out, but yeah, unfortunately, the episode I listened to is just it wasn't for me. So that is my skip for this week. Why don't we get into the show you think people can't miss?
So mine, even though, and I love this guy, I love him as a writer, and just how he formats the podcast, Fights Gone By with Jack Slack. I love this episode.
Little meandering.
Yes, I don't know.
And snarky.
Yeah, he is.
Overtly snarky.
He is. Yeah. Maybe it's just that's his British way of...
Oh, he definitely is dry as fuck.
Yeah. But I remember he talked about, he's looking at, I think, comments or readers or people who were talking about, oh, how about the Chile card? Or like, new nicknames for Kamaru Usman, more like Kamaru Snoozeman, or the Excuseman Usman.
Yeah, the Excuseman Usman is pretty clever.
If he said, if Usman versus Woodley ever happens, please shoot me in the head. Because you don't know how that's going to go.
I think that's going to be a fun fight. But then again, I like wrestlers. Really so, like, I like John Fitch's fight against Paul Daly. How about that? I'm that kind of trash person that everyone hates.
I liked how Jack said, apparently BK loves Liverpool and likes strolling the docks while being coked up, according to Liverpool.
Yeah,
locals.
I had notes about that too. He's
amazing.
Like, oh, I'm not going to say this actually like it's fact, but... There's rumors. Like, allegedly, there's rumors that Connor likes strolling the docks while coked up every time it comes to Liverpool. Which he was in Liverpool, I think, this weekend.
For his homie, Charlie Ward.
Yeah, well, no, that was in London, I think.
Oh, that's right.
But
he was meeting with Dana.
But they're going to Liverpool to meet with Dana, theoretically. We'll see what that means.
Jack saying Valentina Shevchenko keeps talking shit about Nico Montano.
Yeah.
Well, I don't believe she wants to fight, so just got to keep instigating. He said, of course, just like Crazy Guy, was Lee versus Macedo the hottest fight in UFC history? It's like, okay, we get it.
They're both very attractive.
I think
we get it.
Yes. I think that the reason why I like this is I can't miss is he discusses damage to the head and like this. I don't know. That kind of fascinated me this week as far as like his analysis.
Yeah,
of that.
A lot of CTE talk. And
protection like helmets in American football, bare knuckle fighting. You know, and it's someone else. Fuck, who was it? Wasn't it Joe Rogan? Was it Joe Rogan that said we might as well have shin guards too because you might as well go bare knuckle brawling? Yeah,
that's because that's part of the Rogan Fighting Championships is no gloves, football field, and no time limit.
Oh yeah.
his like dream organization.
Or a basketball court, someone wacky.
Yeah, he tried basketball court. He started toning it down from football field because he's like,
you would never want to take someone down on a court. You get the worst burns.
Well, that too, but I think he just means that.
But size. This is size. Yeah. Talks about levels to close guard in BJJ. Talks about stance and level change with striker matchups like Till versus Thompson. I read his article too, which is great.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Especially his talks about the closed guard versus open guard and when you see it. And also he talks a lot about sitting up in guard to hit sweeps. And
how some opponents, welcome it. Obviously, they lay on their back. Kind of like what Maya tried to do to Usman,
Right. He talks a lot about pin sweeps, those sit-up sweeps he used to hit from guard, like on Matt Hughes.
He talked a little bit about Bellator. It's been years since Mousasi has actually beaten a top-tier opponent. He said, yes, we know he beat Weidman, but there was kind of more confusion with the rules.
Yeah.
He previewed Bellator. He said there's a good chance Phil Davis catches a submission against Linton Vassell, as Vassell likes to try to scramble upwards. That didn't happen.
Nope.
As you move up in the 170-pound division rankings, more contenders will be willing to hit you. Almost seemed like Usman seemed uncomfortable when Maya was throwing volume. It's kind of a good point.
Yeah. Really, all I want is Usman versus Colby.
Yeah.
I think he fucks Colby up.
I think so, too.
Plus it's
unless he breaks his hands.
Plus it's ATT versus Black Zillions all over again.
Yeah.
Which is always fun. Somewhere Glenn Robinson, no longer involved in the sport, is crying.
Such a great season. It's annoying.
It was really good. Yeah. I fucking hate Glenn Robinson.
Except for when that guy had that seizure. That was kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
But, that was my can't miss. I don't know. I just like the whole thing about the CTE stuff and the... Whenever someone explains BJJ to me, because I'm still learning, I always am fascinated about that.
Yeah, and he's very good about talking about small things in jiu-jitsu
which reminds me, I need to watch more BJJ Scout.
BJJ Scout and EBI is actually really good for learning like weird stuff you don't see in regular MMA, like De La Hiva guard or reverse De La Hiva or just weird awkward positions that you don't often see. But every once in a while will show up, kind of like that half twister from standing that Damian Maia was half had Usman in, which is real weird. But yeah, I thought that was a good show for sure. Despite how fucking snarky he was this week. My can't miss was your catch actually. The JRE MMA Show episode 28 with GSP. Maybe I would argue maybe one of the best MMA podcasts ever.
Yeah,
because George is so interesting.
I think I listened like 30 minutes of it because I was kind of suffering all week. But
it's definitely worth going
something
back
I'm going to go back 100%.
There's just a crazy amount of information from George. I have like a full...
This was George's second time on the podcast, right?
And he was way better this time because number one, he didn't have a time crunch that he didn't know about. He didn't realize Joe's show was like 4 hours long, which I think this one literally was like 3 hours 20 minutes or something crazy like that. And also George was just way more comfortable because now that he had his return, he had a fight, and he
made history.
And he also just seems to be in a better place now, just like mentally.
Because
that was right after it was still in the midst of like leaving and vacating the belt back at after the Hendricks fight. It was like a little bit after.
I know
that.
He's dealing with colitis still, right?
Yeah, he talks a lot about that on the end, like at the beginning, just talking about dealing with that and still recovering from it. That's why he said he's not even looking for a fight right now. He's still wants to get that out of the way
Because
before
I believe him when he says if he didn't have it, he can make 155. He's 5'9". Would it be tough? Yeah, but there's bigger lightweights than him.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, I'm not big compared to most of the lightweights nowadays. Yeah, I don't doubt it. It'll be interesting to see how the Colitis stuff plays out in the long run.
Because he's a similar build to Habib.
Yeah. Yeah,
Habib's slightly taller.
Yeah, he's a little bit thicker, but...
Yeah, thicker for sure.
Especially in the thigh region. GSP always has them thighs on fleek, bro. So that was weird. I don't know why I went with that. So one thing he did say twice during the show, which I thought was hilarious, he's like, last weekend it was my birthday, I got completely wasted.
That's fucking great.
It's like, yeah, because there's always stories about GSP going to clubs in Toronto and getting hammered.
Wonder what his drink of choice is. I feel like he could be a cocktail guy.
Oh, I for sure think he is.
I think he is, yeah.
Because I doubt he would be drinking beer. It's probably like some weird... Be him,
like, I like to drink Greyhounds and Manhattan.
Yeah, exactly. I think it would be some kind of vodka or gin variation. Yeah. Like, please, all I want is screwdrivers. They're delicious. You get the OJ and the vodka.
Mimosa for brunch.
I don't...
hangover. No, hangover.
Hangover. That's a good one. He just talks about a lot of interesting stuff. I have like a page and a half of notes. I'm not going to talk about all of it, but he mentions Champs looking a lot different after USADA.
Oh, the whole steroid.
Yeah, and it made him want to come back. Well, I think the quote was, a lot of heroes in the sport got pointed out as a cheater, which you got to imagine was a shot at Anderson Silva or John Jones, one of those two. Talk about Bisping's eye injury and intentionally throwing shots on the bad side, which is how he dropped him. Man, there's
that's gotta hurt. You have to get hit with the fuck.
Yeah, well, not even that, but like he just can't see shots coming as well from that side. So many good quotes. Both of our clips, both the intro, which you guys heard, which is maybe the greatest clip in all of MMA history, as far as it comes to podcasts. Really, I wonder if that triggered any Diaz fanboys. Well, they're already triggered this week, as we're not going to cover because everything's so alleged and up in the air at this point.
Who knows?
But boy, there's some feelings going around on. I literally tweeted out yesterday. I was so annoyed by just Twitter and social media and news. I think one of my most favorited tweets ever was this last week on my Twitter, where I just said, like, I'm done with fucking social media, MMA, and news today. All I'm going to do is drink beer and whiskey and listen to Doug Stanhope's podcast for the rest of the night. Because I couldn't do it, dude. It's been so shitty on Twitter and on forums, so it's been a bummer. Anyway, he also talks... GSP has a great quote about driving around before fights. He likes to drive around, like in Las Vegas, and just look at, like, hey, that lady is putting groceries in her car. She doesn't care if I win. Just like small, subtle things.
That's like a great mindset to have too.
Well, it's also one of those things where he 100% backs up everything Brendan Schaub has ever said about him. Where it's like, Brendan always talks about that story of seeing GSP the night before the fight. He's like, Brendan, I am so fucking scared. I don't want to lose. I'm so fucking terrified. Right before the fight, which he does every time, evidently. And GSP talks about that on the show too. He's like, I'm always terrified before fights. It's not about the fact that, it's not about getting over the fact that you're terrified. It's just accepting that's part of what's gonna happen, which is really interesting.
I'm sure it's a lot of anxiety.
That's all. It's 100% anxiety.
Fuck me, dude.
And stress and
I just realized I'd probably never be able to be a fighter with the anxiety thing that I already getting.
Yeah.
I'd probably fucking just collapse. I mean, I'm sure you get used. No, maybe not. Probably once you have your first couple fights, you're probably okay.
George says he never in this episode. He talks about he's like you don't get used to it. People ask him like, I heard you didn't sleep well before your fights. What did you do to fix it? And George goes, I didn't. It's still a thing. I just accepted that's how that night's going to be. It's like, it doesn't really get better. You just get more comfortable at that feeling, which is...
Yeah.
It's interesting. He makes a great reference to Andre the Giant slamming Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3 or 4. It's at the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit. I know that. Shouts out to the Laps fan. #Laps up in that ass. But But it just so many little things he says that I would have never thought about. He talks about he says along the lines of the organization is not your friend. I'm always on the defensive. You're an idiot if you take every fight they give you.
Should I mention the bully story?
Yes.
Yeah, so he talked about growing up being bullied. He would always take the bus to school, and there's this guy who's like 3 years older than him and a lot bigger than him. He said he saw that guy recently. And apparently he said the guy looked homeless. This when he was driving around, I think in Montreal is where he lives, I think.
I believe so.
He said the guy recognized GSP, and GSP stopped the car, and he said when GSP opened his door and wanted to get out, the guy like backed out like he's all
like,
fucked. Oh my god, he's a champion.
Goddamn pound.
Yeah. And he said the guy recognized GSP and was scared once he recognized him, but GSP didn't want to use the opportunity for revenge. He's like, I don't like the old grudges. So instead, he gave him 150 Canadian.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah, he gave him $150 Canadian dollars.
Right, which is like, bruh, although back then that was a while back, so it might have actually been worth some money.
And then what's crazy is I don't know if he said this a year or two later, but he said that guy ended up going to GSP's dad's house, asking for GSP to thank him, because apparently after he gave him that money, the guy changed his mindset and like fucking fixed his life and got like a job and shit.
Yeah, it's a really cool story.
Yeah, GSP would say, yeah, I'm glad he's like, yeah, could I have got out of the car and beat the fuck out of that guy? Yeah. But he's like, nah. He said it's better that I almost in a way kind of helped him out, because it just kind of makes you like, oh yeah, like I win in a way.
Yeah, and that's the kind of dude he is too. Like he's all about martial arts and being respectful and all that shit. But yeah, it's a super interesting story. GSP talks a lot about studying fighters and watching tape. Talks about like watching dudes' reaction times and reset times frame by frame. When like looking at fights, like talking about how some dudes are very good at reacting but have a slow reset, so after they react they're slow to like kind of get back to where they're comfortable. So much interesting stuff. He talks about his 3 favorite things, which is going to be our next clip for our break, which you guys will hear about, but his 3 biggest turn-ons, which are hilarious. And then it just goes off the rails. They talk about, it just turns into regular Joe Rogan podcast. Talk about paleontology, aliens, CTE, whether free will is real. Just a bunch of crazy shit. He's also, one of the coolest things I heard is, he's the biggest fan of the TJ versus DJ fight. He's like, I want to go and sit front row for TJ versus DJ. We need to make this happen. He's so excited. He's like the
realist MMA fan.
Well, and he also said, he's like, these guys, if we were the same size, would kick my ass. They're crazy. Yeah. Guys like DJ. It's like, it's cool to see him give respect to DJ like that, because no one does. And he, especially since he's someone who does so much tape study. Pretty interesting. And then he talks about, he literally says, I've never seen anyone hit harder than when you throw the spinning back kick to Rogan, which is, they talk about Rogan's spinning back kick for like the last 10-15 minutes, and they end the episode by saying like, all right, you want me to go show you the kick on the bag out there? I'll show you what you're doing wrong. And George is like, hell yeah, let's do it. So it's so weird. It's a very cool episode. Also, Joe Rogan is doing a fight companion tomorrow morning for the card, which is going to be very cool. I believe Brian Callen and Edgy Bra are going to be on there.
Fuck, man, I should have used my call out of work fucking tomorrow.
Right. Well, worst case, it'll be that card.
Well, this should be available on Fight Pass, right?
No.
Fuck. God damn it.
But
well,
I'll DVR it and then we'll watch it.
Yeah.
There's no winks happening right now, you guys. I'm not winking at all. So we'll definitely do that. But that fight companion should be good. And he asked GSP, he's like, are you around on Sunday? Are you still in LA? He's like, no, I go back tomorrow. He's like, oh shit, I wanted to have you on a fight companion. And GSP's like, hell yeah, we should do one of these times. So GSP should be on a fight companion at some point, which would be amazing.
You already know fucking Cal would be like, GSP, you're French. You want some wine?
No, I was just about to say, Callen's going to come strong with the cheese and wine for that episode. So I just thought it's a fucking great episode. Even people who aren't fans of Rogan's podcast or weren't fans of GSP, I've seen a lot of comments online being like, Jesus, that was really good. Like, I kind of like GSP more now. He made me like other people more. Like the way GSP talked about Mighty Mouse and shit. People are like, man, I kind of like Mighty Mouse more now just because of that show. So, man, just very impressive, and I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. So that was the show I think people can't miss. Did you listen to any new shows this week?
I don't believe so, unfortunately.
That's all right, because I listened to way too many. So I'm going to be brief on these. The Writer and the Fighter, episode 1 and 2 came out. The Writer and the Fighter, if you guys do not know, is David Golden, who did the Your Favorite Fight podcast that I'm a fan of. He's up in Oregon. He has a new podcast he just started with Jake Smith, Uber Smitty on Twitter. He's a 155er in Bellator. I always mistakenly call him a welterweight because he always fought welterweight before Bellator.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But he's out of the same camp up in Oregon as Paige and Chris Sunshine Williams and Chael and all those guys.
That's right.
He actually was working with Chael for. I believe he said on one of the episodes, in Chael's last 2 camps, I have been Fedor and Rampage Jackson. So, which is funny because he's a 55er, but Chael says he mostly uses him for speed and style.
Yeah.
So, pretty interesting. Jake Smith is hilarious on Twitter, and it's just a good podcast. They have a really good repertoire. They've been friends for a while. And Jake Smith is willing to throw shade at anyone if they deserve it. So, there's a lot of interesting stuff. He openly is talking about how the UFC is fucked up for fucking over Leslie Smith the way they did, and how the UFC making money, like signing the ESPN deal and then not paying the fighters out is fucking crazy. Literally says the phrase "fuck the UFC" at one point, which he's saying "fuck the UFC," but he's kind of feels the same way about Bellator. He mentions he gets paid to show and win, and he says that's fucking bullshit. It should just be a straight amount. He says he'd rather take a $10K over 7 and 7 because guaranteed $10K is. You're going to get better fights from people when you pay them a flat fee. Because everyone's not going to play it safe to try and make sure they get their extra money.
Yeah.
He shits on Dylan Dennis a good amount. He says he sounds more like Carlos Mencia than Conor. Because he's just stealing all of his gimmicks. Which is pretty great. It's just fantastic. They talked about how feeling like Woodley's overrated, and talking about super camps like Jackson's being overrated.
He thinks Woodley's overrated, huh?
Yeah, which the way he argued it makes sense.
I could see what angle he can come at.
I think he was more just talking about like Woodley seems beatable.
Yeah,
which is like true, kind of. Like Woodley does seem beatable. I don't know how beatable he actually is. They talk about how underrated Eve Edwards was. And they also addressed Schaub's shitty comments about Eve back in the day. And they talk about a potential Whitaker versus Gastelum fight. It's just really fun. I really enjoy that show. I'm a big Jake Smith fan. I talk to him on Twitter all the time. He's a very nice dude. And hopefully we're going to do if we ever get that other show off the ground.
That's right.
We will definitely have him on as our first guest, talk DBZ and some shit that he's into. So, just a great dude, and I really like that show. I think it's going to be something, so I highly recommend people check it out. Dean Thomas has a new podcast, The Dean Thomas Show, episode 1. He recorded it from Liverpool. He's cornering Jillian Robertson against Molly McCann, who blew weight today, which we'll get to later. But he basically goes through and he talks about Usman versus Maia and the Chile card. For some reason, there's instrumentals playing in the background, though, like hip-hop instrumentals, and it's distracting, because it's at least as loud as he is. So that's kind of a bummer. I hope he addresses that going forward. Talks about Suarez getting the win over Grasso and how huge that was. And then he talks about not being surprised that Verdun popped, intentional or otherwise. He's like, dude, you cannot use Brazilian supplements. Thank you, because Brazilian supplements are going to be sketchy. You know this.
Yeah.
You can't be using that shit. Get an On It sponsorship or something, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good take. And then he talks about the ESPN deal. If it wasn't for the music bed, it would be a really good episode, but the music bed gets real
That reminds
distracting.
me, has the Morning Wood Show been having episodes at all?
They haven't done one in a while.
Yeah, probably because of Tyron's TMZ shit, right?
TMZ show, plus Dean is constantly doing stuff.
Yeah.
Plus Tyron's, I think, acting a bunch again right now.
Well, I know he was in that Sylvester Stallone movie, Escape Plan 2, something like that.
Right, something like that. And then the other new show I heard is one that you've talked about in the past, Way of the Warrior, episode 390. That show's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's so good. I totally get where your comparisons of
it was to
Co-Main,
right?
Yeah, because they're very sharp and very witty, and you can tell they've done 390 episodes. They're very slick, so I really enjoyed it. It's mostly talking about the ESPN deal and the WWE deal with Fox.
Dude, wasn't that like 1.5 billion for the?
Yeah, I believe. Well, over
WWE
time, I think they're both 1.5,
yeah.
but it's like over a period of however many years. They ponder whether the number of Saturday cards is going to go down after they move to ESPN because of, especially in the fall, because of football, which is an interesting point. You can't be putting fucking UFC cards on your network over football.
Yeah.
ESPN's not going to do that. So it's the question of, is it going to be like on ESPN 3? Like,
wait, you're saying as far as, well...
in the fall.
Well, that's not going to be a problem if they're still on Saturday. Because you only have football on Saturday in the NFL in like the last 2 weeks of the year.
Really?
Yeah. No, they're good.
So, but what else is on ESPN on?
Well, the only way... Let me think. The only way it would coincide would be a European card in London like now, or in the UK.
Because
that's in the afternoon morning. All the 1 p.m. games
would
coincide with tomorrow's. So it would only affect the NFL games if they're in Europe or somewhere else, depending on the timing. Other than that, because there's never going to be fights on Monday night. They're going to have their Monday night, because ESPN still has Monday Night Football, and that's their biggest cash grab.
And Sunday, it's not like... They're probably 0 cards on Sunday.
And ESPN doesn't have games on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, it's just it's just CBS and NBC.
Can you guys tell how much football I watch?
Yeah, ESPN just has Monday night. Yeah, so there's not going to be any problems at all, actually.
Oh, that's
what the fuck am I talking about? No, we're good.
Nice. Well, that's... as someone who doesn't watch any fucking football anymore, because like I always say, the Chargers cured me of football.
Dean Thanos.
Well, San Diego sports in general have cured me of traditional sports.
Yeah.
Between the Padres and the fucking Chargers, like, you can only get your hopes up so many times. Going
to the goals games are fucking great.
Yeah, goals are a little different.
Yeah,
hockey.
But then hockey is so much more fun.
And also, that's a B league.
It's it's minor league. Yeah.
It's like, going to the Soccers is dope.
To be fair, shouts out to Shea Theodore, former goals player. He is playing in the Stanley Cup final for the Vegas Golden Knights. So good for him.
Boom. Yeah, the Knights are snatching up all the good talent, huh?
Well, they're basically like the cast-offs, if you will. Like,
right.
They're all like 33 years old and up and just murdering people.
Yep.
Shouts out to Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yep, I was just about to say. The other stuff they talk about is the ref separation and the Maia versus Usman fight, which I thought was really interesting.
Well, because we watched that fight again, and we didn't really...
I didn't think the separation was that bad.
Yeah.
But...
I could see
where he was arguing. I mean, he was saying, like, oh, he's throwing shots to the liver. It's like, nah, dog. He was kind of throwing shots to the ass. Yeah. So, but I get it. Like, that was Maia's chance, and taking that chance away is kind of fucked up. But, I don't know. They talk about Verdun being flagged, and they also talk UFC Chicago and why CM Punk is on the card over Reem versus Blades.
Because of viewers.
Yeah.
That's why. That's who it
It's
is.
they get the WWE pay-per-view.
They get the WWE fans.
Yeah. So that's all I had on that. Is there any other shows you listened to this week that you wanted to shout out?
Yeah, I had Anik Florian. I just kind of wrote down a couple of notes. Ray Longo was talking about Aljamain Sterling wants Dominic Cruz in November, but he said realistically Aljo's going to take a fight in the summer, so it depends.
Right.
Because he even says Aljo needs a win or two before Cruz.
Right,
in his opinion. They talked about how Stephen Thompson's, excuse me, God damn it, is stuck in title shot limbo currently, even if he wins.
Yep.
They talk about people forget how impressive Colby Covington has been in his victories. Yeah, it depends who he fights. I think it's all style matchup based for him.
That's a lot of why Colby's been doing well, is because he's gotten... It's not as bad as Till, who's gotten Till is on that Conor McGregor track, which we'll talk about later, where they're like, oh, let's not give him any wrestlers after he almost lost that to that one wrestler.
MMA Vivisection I will talk about when we are making our official picks.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
I liked it. And Heavy Hands, I will talk about when we're making picks too. I did like their cold open with the George Lucas is bad at storytelling. I thought that was kind of funny.
yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Let's see. What did I have? I had... Where are my notes? I know Robin Black was on Rogan's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good. Robin.
How's he doing?
Robin can get a little over the top, but he's still interesting. He talks about going over and hanging out with Shatri over at One Championship and learning about their organization more and stuff like that. Going over to Singapore and hanging out with them. MMA Road Show episode 165 is very good, as always. John Morgan's on location with Sebastian for the Liverpool card. And they talk a lot about the atmosphere and the Champions League finals. And they also play interviews with Till and Wonderboy. Behind the Paywall this week was fucking fantastic. This was almost one of my catches. It probably should have been, to be honest. TJ is there for the beginning, TJ DeSantis, and then he has to take off. So Jeff Sherwood and Rose Gracie hang out for the rest of the episode.
Oh, nice.
And it's really interesting. There's just
I remember that. Yeah, I think I heard you listening to that.
Yeah, it's really funny. Rose is essentially hanging out a lot with... or she talks about hanging out at some AMI fights and seeing Frank Trigg do a terrible job with a stoppage while reffing. And she's busting everybody's balls. She's like, oh, right when TJ leaves, she's like, just do this, this, and this, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
And so she's like, Poha, this is easy. I got this. She's just talking shit the whole time, clowning Jeff.
I remember you were listening to that before we did our recap the other day.
Yeah, it's super funny. Zombie Paul calls in, being an instigator. Chad George, the fighter, calls in, who Rose was one of the coaches for. And then Bobby Razak calls in as well. Talk about how he's doing a ADCC doc, which is the Abu Dhabi Grappling Championships. It's not what those stand for, but it's the Abu Dhabi Combat Championships or something like that. Essentially, it's the no-gi grappling competition out in the desert. I forget where that's held. What's that really rich place in the Middle East?
The United Arab Emirates?
Yeah.
Right?
Somewhere in there.
So, yeah, I think that's
whatever the big city is there.
Yeah, the United Arab Emirates is like the region.
Yeah, and there's a big city there that...
Dubai?
Thank you. I kept wanting to say Shanghai.
That's the city with the massive fucking skyscrapers?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's in Dubai. Bunch of sheiks, basically, are hanging out betting on people and shit like that. Pretty crazy. And Bobby talks about doing that doc, and then he also gets Rose talking about old school stories about Hollis and Helio. Or sorry, Hollis. Fucking the R's and the L's and everything in Brazil fuck me up. I keep wanting to call them Hoyes, but I'm just combining Spanish and Portuguese. They talk about that. They talk about the hang gliding accident for Hollis and her family and cousin being there for that. And she's just busting everybody's balls. They talk about Bobby's Rites of Passage documentary, which I'd never heard of before, but I did find on Daily Motion, which evidently is the only place you can get it. Aside from like buying it on eBay.
Interesting, weird.
It's because they don't pull anything down. So like, that's where I watched most of Mystery Science Theater when I was like 12. They had every episode of that on there before it was on Netflix. Right. So anyway, just a very interesting episode. Rose is fucking great, and she is literally busting everybody's balls. I would argue it's probably, even though I didn't listen to Ariel's interview with Bobby Razak, probably a better interview with Bobby Razak. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. Because it's a lot of fun. Coast to Coast Combat Hour, which is Ed and Matt's show from the MMA community. They had Johnny Hughes on, a.k.a. ECC, who I think he's ECC 170 on the MMA community, something like that. Johnny talks about fighting back in the day and being managed by guys like Chaz Bowling and Monty Cox, training a Team Wolfpack in Indiana. Just really, really fun show. ECC is he's not at all hesitant to shit on people or call people out. He talks about some stuff which we've talked about on the forums before, which is like the Usman's head movement is going to get him in trouble eventually. If he doesn't sharpen it up. I can see
what he's talking about, yeah.
It's really interesting, really smart dude. He talks about being a roadie for Elite XC back in the day and having to deal with Gary Shaw's son, Scala, being a shithead and like hanging out with Kimbo and Kimbo being super fucking nice and shit like that.
Yeah,
just a fun episode. Yeah. Collapse MMA episode, or UFC 42 Part 1 was very good. Basically, Breen actually attended the show when he was 16 years old in Vegas. And it's a lot of stories about just random shit. John Anik being a degenerate gambler. Breen getting his eyebrow pierced at 12. Sherdog, they find the old Sherdog picking and grinning pics for like the actual card at the time, which is hilarious in retrospect. Vitor's sister, of course, comes up again because Breen can't control himself. Call Me Al was good. They talk about the old tough days and then how 23andMe tests are bullshit. And Al says he bought a 6-foot sub for an open house he did, and then he realizes, oh shit, I told the owner that I wasn't gonna have any food at the house, so I probably shouldn't have said that on air right now. Which is hilarious. Amazing. He's like, but everybody loved the sub, so fuck it. I listened to Loudmouth MMA 272. They do fight companions evidently for the cards.
Oh, cool.
It's Drew and Kyle, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's Kyle.
Kyle's the main guy, and then Drew's his friend. Kyle also is a fucking realtor, so I had to listen to I had to listen to a bunch of sketchy, shady real estate shit. You can immediately tell how shady real estate is, because real estate agents are fucking car salesmen, except sketchier.
I was gonna say they're either car salesmen or drug dealers.
No, they're car salesmen who can afford coke. Is real estate agents.
Yes, that's good.
Essentially. Having worked for a company that exclusively dealt with them, I can 100% confirm that. And having gone to a Fort Lauderdale conference full of real estate agents.
How about the Toyota Camry with 4 doors and an extra room in the back?
At the Hard Rock too.
Oh,
imagine Fort Lauderdale Hard Rock real estate agent conference. Everyone's just a giant
Give you free tickets to the strip club. All down Fort Lauderdale.
Everyone's literally just either a giant whore or in a real bad suit and way too into themselves. It was rough. They talk about drinking the new Budweiser Freedom Reserve Red Lager. I don't know what the fuck that is.
I saw that at Vons.
They said it was good.
Excuse me, I saw someone buy that at Vons.
Yeah, they said it was good, which I can't believe.
Part of me wants to try it, or part of me thinks it's B.
We'll try it one of these days on the show. It's gonna be bad. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It'll probably be bad though.
It can't be worse than regular Budweiser.
It totally could be.
Okay, yeah.
You had Platinum. Platinum's worse than regular Budweiser, and that's more expensive.
I remember I think that was one of G6's. That's one of G6's favorite beers.
Well, yeah, because Mondo, the homie back in the day, used to always get that shit, and G6 definitely is
G6 and he goes, I love Platinum! Shit like that.
Yeah. Style! Fucking that, dude. Yeah, basically their fight companion is a lot like Rogan's fight companion, where it has very little to do with the actual fights. Essentially, it's every once in a while they go, oh shit, a knockout, and then they're back talking about real estate or whatever. So, I don't know. Probably not worth catching. Untitled MMA episode 24 is pretty good. Buju, Bryce, and Brendan are the hosts. They talk about how lackluster the international cards have been, including 224. Talk about Megan vs. Holly on 225 and it bumping Reem vs. Blades, since everyone thinks everything bumped Reem vs. Blades. They talk about Mike Perry's new cage idea, where you use plexiglass,
I heard about that.
Everyone has said every 2 years for the last 30 years until anyone mentions, oh, hey, what about smudges, bro? And you're like, oh, no, that wouldn't work at all.
Does anyone watch hockey?
Yeah, for real. And they're not shirtless and sweating. Like, it's not going to work. Yeah, they seem like semi-casuals. They mention, they're like, oh yeah, I haven't been watching the cards as much. A lot of the fighters who got me into MMA, like Pettis, Ronda, Conor, and Diaz, aren't fighting anymore. I'm like, bro, that was not that long ago when they came up, so that is pretty young in the sport.
That's pretty great.
The Outsiders was good with Jeff Sherwood and Josh Gross. Talking about taco trucks and UFC 226. Jordan Breen show talked a lot about World Goth Day and whether there's any goth kids or emo kids in MMA. TJ keeps doing this hilarious Tom DeLonge impression. And Breen talks about his love for the new Karate Kid show on YouTube, which is really good, by the way. BBC MMA show is fine. They had an interview with Till and an interview with Molly. And Molly at one point says, enjoy the fights, leave the knives at home. Fucking Jesus, Liverpool. If people have to tell you to leave knives at home, you only calm down with sticking people. Top Turtle MMA episode 118. I told you guys I listened to a lot of fucking shows this week since I didn't listen to Ariel. Top Turtle MMA, they opened with an awful GSP impression. Then Dave Tremont had Art Davey on talk about being inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. So that was cool. They also started a YouTube channel and have a new segment kind of similar to the segment we were thinking, or the show we were thinking about starting. But theirs is short form, so it's a little different. Savage MMA Show episode 12 was alright. Eric and Bart host. By the way, you talked about Savage MMA Show.
Yeah.
And you're right. Fucking Eric sounds exactly like Hank Hill. God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it, Bobby.
But damn.
He sounds so much like Hank Hill.
That's
it's
right.
Crazy.
Yeah, the fights this week, Liverpool. Yeah.
Utica is that garbage card next week. Yeah, Brazilians keep popping.
I'll tell you what.
I'd rather watch the Indy 500 than UFC Liverpool. I can't do Hank Hill.
I can do Bobby.
I'm
Big Dad. Let's watch UFC Liverpool.
Right. You have to do like breathy Southern, which I have no ability.
And it's weird because the Texan Southern draw is so much different than like the Deep South. Like
for sure.
Alabama.
Yeah, but so that was the other show that I watched, and that show, I don't know how I feel about that show. They shit on every card.
He's very condescending. Hank Hill is
he's so condescending. He literally said, I'd rather watch the Indy 500 and International Race Day or whatever it is than the UFC on Sunday with this bullshit. And then you got UFC Utica next week. Nobody gives a fuck about that card. It's like they hated the fucking chili card.
It's probably like, where is Utica?
Bunch of fucking decisions. It's just fucking rough.
God.
But that's a show. So that's mostly what I had. The only news that came out this week, we talked about Verdum getting flagged by USADA. Nico Price is out against Bilal Muhammad, which is a bummer.
He's out again. Nike Pierce is out.
Yeah, which is a bummer because that was going to be a fun fight. But there was a replacement, I believe. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Speaking of dropouts, Mirko Krokop dropped out against Nelson earlier this week, which we talked about.
Knee again.
It's a bummer. Oh shit! I just realized this week that the Green Ranger from Power Rangers is the CEO of
Jason David Frank, whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's the CEO of the company Jesus Didn't Tap, which is one of my favorite shitty MMA sponsors back in the day. I figured that out, and that kind of blew my mind. Davey Grant and Manny Bermudez fight. Manny, by the way, maybe the best name in the sport. Manny, the Bermuda Triangle Bermudez. Because he has hit a bunch of triangles on dudes. That fight's off because Davey has staff. Kat Zingano is going to be on the Joe Rogan Experience on Monday. And Sean O'Malley is going to be on the Joe Rogan Experience on June 6th. So those should be fun, man. But that is what I had. So we will wrap this segment here. I'm going to go eat a bite of that pizza from Felipe's because that shit sounds bomb. And then we will be back to give our picks for this weekend's Liverpool card. So check out this clip from Rogan talking about... I forget what we were talking about with Rogan. Oh, right. GFP's 3 favorite things.
I love it. They say never when they know as crazy as it is when you said never gonna come back. I'm like it excites me. Man. When you say I cannot do that, it's never been done before. That's mean if I do it, it will be the first time. That excites me. Yeah. That really turned me on. There's a lot of things that turn me on in life. Is a woman, dinosaurs, and this. The people that say you don't. That really make me going crazy.
Right.
Long pause. All right, we're back.
We're back, guys. Here to go ahead and preview tomorrow morning's card, if you're stateside.
That's right.
The UFC on, is it Fox or FX? Or Fight Night, excuse me.
Fight Night,
1:30. Thompson versus Till.
Which means it'll be on
at
FX?
At the Echo Arena.
Sorry, not FX. Fox Sports.
At the Echo Arena, Liverpool, England, United Kingdom, or Great Britain, whatever your preference is.
My preference is over with them damn Yankees.
Oh, right. It's all about the Confederacy, right?
No, it's definitely not. Chris, you big old racist. It's definitely not about the Confederacy.
I was being sarcastic. Hence my terrible Southern accent.
That's right. Shouts out to Hank Hill.
Yeah, right? Shouts out to Hank Hill.
This fucking bullshit card.
I'm not surprised if he's like, where is Utica?
This fucking Utica card is trash.
Propane.
It's actually a good card, too. That's the worst part about it.
I know,
Both
right?
of these are... this one's a little rougher, but...
Do you want to start from the top?
Definitely from the bottom. Recaps from the top, previews from the bottom.
Gotcha. So, starting off... Okay, let me actually...
Speaking of preview and bottoms, don't forget to check out Two Straws this week.
Yes.
They be twerking to fucking Danger from Mystical.
So, starting from the bottom of this card, our first fight is a women's bantamweight bout between American Gina Mazzani and Swede Lena Landsberg.
Actually, that's a great segue because Gina Mazzani's nickname is Danger, which is how the Two Straws twerking began.
I don't know if
you guys think I'm kidding about that. I'm not kidding about that. Angela Hill and fucking what's her face, Jessica Penne were 100%
Was
twerking.
this chick Mazzani on Tough? She was.
I think
yes.
Oh, she was tough.
Her. Yeah,
I knew it was either
Rousey versus Tate.
Right, she lost to
I just
Pena
remember the
earlier.
hair. Yeah.
Going to decision against Pena is not bad.
Yeah. I think
And,
she was one of
dude,
the higher ranked fighters.
If your
in that
two
season.
losses are as a pro are to Juliana Pena and Sarah McMahon, that's pretty choice, bro.
Yeah.
Out of Extreme Couture.
Out of Extreme Couture, she has a record of 5-1. Lena Landsberg, aka the Elbow Princess.
I'm gonna go with Landsberg since she's not a landscaper.
But then again, there's that like little I can't remember what that's called.
Umlaut?
It's something like that, yeah.
Is that only a U when it's an umlaut? The two dots over the letter?
I don't know.
Hey, guess what, guys? I'm not European enough to answer this.
So last time we saw Lena Landsberg,
yeah,
she had she's coming off a TKO loss to Aspen Ladd.
Also, her last two fights, well, she had a canceled fight against Leslie Smith and then ended up fighting Aspen Ladd. Jesus Christ, that's a rough run.
Ooh, she
and she was supposed to fight Macedo.
Pudilova.
Yeah.
And she got killed by Cyborg.
Yep.
Chris Cyborg.
That was Cyborg's debut, I believe.
Yeah. But who hasn't gotten murdered by Chris Cyborg at this point? Oh, she fought Lucy Pudilova again before and beat her. Okay. Gina Mazzani, last time we saw her, she had a unanimous decision victory over Chinese fighter Yanan Wu on the Beijing card, Bisping vs. Gastelum back in
Go figure, that's where
November.
That's where that fight happened.
So they both fought within the last 6 months.
Yeah, which is weird because I feel like I haven't seen either one of them in longer than that. But I guess it's just been a long 6 months.
So, it's interesting. I don't even know who I picked. Well, I think in the MMA community.
If you want to pull up, you can pull up the thread while I talk about. If you just type TMMAC, Cage Side will show up. There you go. Click on Cage Side and go to the Monsters Pick'em. You'll probably be like a page or two back. Also, you guys should absolutely check out Monsters Pick'em. We have a link in the description.
Where's it at again? It's
Monsters Pick'em right
this
there.
This one right here is at 17.
No, 17. Wait, no, other one.
Oh my
fucking
god! Oh my
Conor
god.
McGregor Nuthugger.
Oh my god! It's fucking terrible.
Conor McGregor Nuthugger posts the worst
this
shit.
One, right? 18.
No, wait. There's only two replies on this.
I think it is 17, bro.
Yeah, it's 17. You're right.
I was looking at my email saying something. They replied to. Fuck.
You're gonna scroll through it. I got it. It's cool. So I watched a little bit of tape on this, and the two things I noticed is they both are very willing to engage in the clinch, which I think is where most of this fight's going to happen. It'll probably either be... Wait, scroll up.
I'm on page 15. I went way back.
No, it probably wouldn't be that far back. Does it show the date? Yeah, if you look at the underneath the post.
Where the fuck does it say it?
Right there, May 12th, 2018, right there.
Oh, Jesus, okay. Yeah.
So the two things I noticed is this fight is 100% going to happen in the clinch. It's going to be a question of whether Lena Landsberg, also known as the Elbow Princess, is going to be able to actually get strikes off in the clinch, or whether Mazzani is going to be able to rush her and get enough takedowns and pressure to stop any offensive kind of attacks from her. Should be interesting. Lena does have very good elbows and knees in the clinch. She does have good Muay Thai in general. She has a Muay Thai background. However, she does get stuck against the cage a little bit. And I think that might play in. We'll see how that goes. It'll be after the template. In this one, I'm gonna lean Gina Mazzani, probably by decision.
Yeah, I think instinctively, and it's kind of unfair because I just kind of saw the name and who I remembered. I think I ended up choosing Landsberg, at least in these picks.
Yeah, keep scrolling. You're almost there.
Yeah, I know I'm almost there because I remember yesterday or the other day. It was the other day. I realized today's the 26th already because I noticed like that one page. Jesus Christ.
Wait, did you not post it?
Fuck, I'm pretty sure I pressed submit. Unless I was just like out of it completely. Fuck, maybe I didn't even post. God damn it. That's weird. I pressed submit. Huh.
If you search your name,
I'll have to.
Yeah, well.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, keep on. Let's move on to the next one, or let's enter our picks, and then I'll look it up on my side.
I guess I'll just stick with Landsberg where my pick was. So I apologize for that.
You like Landsberg in this one?
I don't fuck. It's
or Mazzani, because I'm going Mazzani by decision, but
I'm just gonna go Landsberg decision. And you're going Mazzani.
Yeah, you basically think she's gonna win the clinch exchanges.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. She could totally do it. I just wonder how effective she's going to be able to be against someone who's also pretty good in the clinch and is willing to exchange on the ground as well. Let me pull up the odds for that.
And let me go ahead and preview this next fight.
Well, hold on. Let me pull up the odds. Right. So right now, as we're recording this Saturday night, Gina Mazzani on 5 dimes, because that's the best book out there, even though I don't even use them. They just always have the best odds. Gina Mazzani is a -135 favorite. Tolina Landsberg's +125. So I feel like that line's about right. Makes sense to me. Cool. So why don't we jump into the next fight?
So the next fight that we are previewing is the main event. Or no, he's not the main event. I thought he was called the main event because of his hair. I think there's someone else. The Spartan, Canada's Elias. Who is the main event?
He's the main event. MANE.
Yeah, that is true. That is him.
Trademark, as he likes to say.
The Spartan, Elias Theodore, a.k.a. Invicta's Ring Boy, versus Trevor Hot Sauce Smith, the American.
Yep.
Last time we saw Elias Theodoro, he had a unanimous decision victory over Daniel Kelly last November at Verdun versus Tibura. Last time we saw Trevor Hot Sauce Smith, he had a unanimous decision victory over Chris Camozzi at the... Oh, wow, that was a year ago, May 28th. Gustafsson versus Teixeira. Okay, so Smith has been out for... Well, I shouldn't say he's been out for a year. He just hasn't fought in a year. Elias has fought more recently. Just going off these guys and how they fight, Elias... I don't want to call him a point fighter. I know he just likes to... He's an outside circle fighter.
Yeah.
Kind of likes to point fight.
He definitely strafes the cage and mostly relies on kicks and feints.
Yeah. A lot of teep kicks, if I remember.
Well, yeah. He definitely specializes in... He is the TriStar version of a Greg Jackson fighter.
And then Trevor Hot Sauce Smith... I'm trying to remember, man.
So if you pull up
bread and butter is.
So Trevor Hot Sauce Smith is, at least recently, mostly relied on his wrestling. He had a good fight. Who was his last fight against? Chris Camozzi, right? He looked good in that. And then the thing is Trevor Hot Sauce Smith has had kind of a weird career. Like he hasn't. This is by far the biggest name he's faced.
Yeah.
Well. I guess aside from Talis Lattis, but that was in 2014.
Andrew Sanchez is a tough winner, but he lost to him.
Yeah, so that's also a thing. Losing to a tough winner always is a weird, like, coin flip kind of a thing.
He beat Dan Miller back in
the day. You definitely did not post your shit on the MMA community.
Wow, that's weird, because I did press post. Wow, I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, I'm just not seeing it, so...
Huh, that's a shame.
Yeah, well, worst case, now you'll know your picks. Because we'll have them recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, let me stop fucking looking at that and actually pull up my notes. Which way are you leaning on this one? Because Hot Sauce's wrestling is really the question in this fight. Is how much does he push for the wrestling and how much of this fight does Elias Theodoro spend against the cage.
I think I'm going with Theodoro because I remember one of the fights. I don't know if it was against Kelly or let me look it back. I remember he had decent clinch game against someone who's trying to take him to the ground. Oh, it was this Cesar Pajeda fight. He kept trying to take him down, and Theodore looked pretty strong in the clinch. Was able to kind of whizzer him out of the way and just kind of pitter-patter him for the win. That's how I kind of see this going. I'm going to go with Elias Theodoro.
I could see that. I think that's probably smart. I'm going to go the same way. Mostly, I just think Elias is going to outpoint fight him for 3 rounds pretty clearly. I actually have him in fantasy for one of the 2 Mag War leagues that I have. Also, if you guys want to be in our Mag War league that we're going to be starting after this quarter ends, I think July.
Yeah. It's July 28th, I think, is the last event.
I think right before UFC 226 is going to be...
Or it's before 227 is when it ends. So it's July 28th. The Jeremy Stevens Aldo is the last fight in our playoffs.
Right. So if you guys want to get in on the next season, let us know. We're looking for like 5 to 10 people, depending on how many of our friends we can rope into it. Also, good news for you, if you actually follow the sport, you will crush most of our friends who end up joining the league, because a lot of them don't. Especially if we can rope Trevor into it, who you guys have heard on the show before, or I would say G6, but there's no way G6 does this shit every week. So we will definitely do that. But if no one else, Judo Bill, I know you're listening. 100% we need you in this league. It's free, by the way. You guys just literally once a week, all you have to do is pick a fighter from that card that you think is gonna win. So should be fun. But anyway, we'll get to the next fight. Who someone in this fight blew weight real bad.
Hence her nickname Meatball.
Yeah, all the local fighters blew weight super fucking bad. Also, didn't we get meatballs on the pizza we got?
I think you did.
I think Karen got meatballs on it.
That's telling.
Double telling. And yeah, that's. Anyway, let's take a look at their record and then I'll.
So Molly McCann is fighting out of Liverpool. This is a hometown fight.
Oh shit. Sorry, I forgot the odds on the Elias Theodoro fight.
Oh, yes.
Elias is a minus 355 favorite on Saturday night when we're recording this. And Trevor Smith is a plus 320. That's way too big a line. I would understand, like, mid-200s. I could see, like, 230, 250 maybe minus for Elias. But 3 is fucking crazy. I'm not that confident at all that he won't lose a shitty decision. So, that seems crazy.
Evidently, this is Molly McCann's UFC debut.
Yep. Coming off a big win in Cage Warriors.
Just looking at her last fights, and I don't recognize any of these fighters. I think I recognize Priscilla De Souza. I think she's in Invicta, if I remember. I just remember that name, but I'm probably wrong.
Maybe. I know that maybe Lacey Shookman was in Invicta, but I know Molly McCann is coming off a big win, dominant knockout.
She's going up against Canada's Jillian the Savage Robertson.
Out of AKA.
That's, great fucking camp.
Dean
no,
is
ATT or AKA?
ATT, sorry.
Yeah.
Because she's over there, Dean is over there with her.
That's right.
She
has a record of 4 wins, 2 losses. Her last fight was in the UFC in the Ultimate Fighter 26 finale last December.
Yep.
She had a submission via armlock victory over Emily Whitmire.
Yeah, Emily basically just gave her a giant fucking armbar.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, almost kind of like she was like, here, have my arm. So, Molly McCann's going to be the larger fighter, I imagine here.
Blowing weight.
Well, besides the blowing weight, she's the bigger fighter.
In general, yeah, she's definitely. I don't know if she's taller. You probably be able to see by stats.
5'2", yeah.
Yeah, I would say she's mostly like more built than Jillian is, more noticeably than anything.
Yeah. One thing is I don't have any tape study on Molly McCann, so I don't know her style. Maybe
boxer, pressure boxer.
Well, yeah, she is.
She's more British, of a brawler, really, than anything. She's just gonna come forward and wing shit, and generally has a lot of luck doing that.
Robertson is the grappler, based on all her victories.
Yeah, Robertson's definitely hittable, but she has real decent wrestling in BJJ.
I'm gonna go with, like, usually my code is, as far as if it's a coin flip to me, I go with grappler over striker. I'm sticking to that here. I know McCann's going to have the big weight advantage. That could pose a problem, because I don't know Robertson's chin.
Right.
But she's at ATT, and Dean Thomas is her head coach. I know that dude is one of the best coaches in the game. So I'm gonna go and place faith in his game plan.
Also,
his fighter.
Yeah.
I'm going Robertson actually by sub.
Well, and also if you're at 25 or at ATT, you're working with fucking high level athletes. That means you're working with both the 15ers and the 35ers.
Work with Joanna.
Well, Joanna and Amanda and all them too, probably. Yeah. I would assume.
And Nina Ansaroff too.
I would assume. There is levels to this shit though, and not everybody turns to everybody at camps. So
of course,
I don't have any of that confirmed, but you gotta imagine, her wrestling is good enough that you would think they would be using her in grappling sessions and stuff. But I'm leaning Molly McCann in this, mostly because Molly does have a big lead hook that she loves to throw. She will switch stances a little bit. She's mostly orthodox dominant. I just think Molly McCann's too willing to throw bombs, and Jillian Robertson's not going to be able to get enough of the takedowns to be able to stop her. If she can take Molly McCann down early, this fight's going to be a wash. I've just questioned whether she's going to be able to do that. So I'm going to go Molly McCann TKO second.
And what do you have the odds for this fight? Excuse me.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, good call. Let's see. The odds. I got to imagine Molly's the favorite. Molly McCann is a minus 160 favorite to a plus 150 Jillian Robertson. I feel like that's probably about right. That's about how I have it. Definitely a live dog, though, in Jillian Robertson, depending on what Molly McCann's wrestling looks like against a decent wrestler, especially out of ATT.
That's true.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see. Next up, we have a welterweight bout between British fighter Brad Bear Scott going up against American Carlo Pedersoli, a.k.a. Cemento.
Yeah,
he's fighting out of Rome, so he went back to his roots.
I was going to pronounce that nickname differently.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because Cemento has a lot different vibe than Cemento. But
it's not Cemento, it's Cemento.
I was going to say, there's no C in that, so I'm going to call it...
Cemento.
No, it's Cemento.
I know, it is Cemento. But don't tell that to him.
I mean, I won't, but between us, you guys,
right?
Maybe spell that differently, right? Because if you're... I think it's supposed to be like cement, you would think, right?
Yeah, I mean...
Don't spell it like semen then.
Yeah.
That's my tip.
Just blame the Italians, dude. I mean... Shit.
Yeah. I mean, I often do.
Yeah. When all else fails.
Yeah. There's some world wars that'll back me up in that.
Yeah. So, Brad Scott, last time we saw him, he got knocked out, or finished, I should say, via strikes.
Ground and pound, I believe.
Ground and pound to Jack Hermanson.
That was when Hermanson was on that nasty run where he's just double-legging dudes and punching them in the face till they quit.
Yep. Oh, sorry. Before that, he had... he's been very bipolar as far as his win-loss.
Yeah, I don't know if bipolar is the phrase I would use for that.
Yeah. Schizophrenic.
I would
just
argue up and down,
I'm
maybe.
just using like the worst fucking terms. There's a duality to the way he wins and loses.
Yeah, he's got range.
It's 50-50. So, Carlo Pedersoli fights out of... he fights in Rome, so he fights in the Italian gym. Gloria Fight Center, Styles Karate, BJJ.
Went over Nicholas Dalby.
Okay.
That's better than Darren Till could do.
He had a draw, yeah. Had a win via submission due to a choke.
In RXF? We'll right-click that and
MMA All-Stars.
I want to see what the name of this actually is. RXF.
Oh, in Romania.
What is Romania Fighting Champion? Or no, Real Extreme Fighting. There it is.
In Romania, Real Extreme.
Also, it's owned by Romanian Extreme Fighting, so it has double meaning. I feel like there's going to be a lot of good organization names on this card.
Where's this guy? What's the name of this country?
Magnum FC is pretty good as a card name.
Yeah. That must be an Italian.
Oh, for sure. Oh, you can see by the flag, yeah.
In
also,
Rome, the Church Palace is the venue. That's amazing.
That's pretty good. Also, he was on a Venator card, which Venator you guys will remember from Cody McKenzie coming in like 300, and Jason Jason Mayhem Miller coming in like 300 pounds overweight or whatever. Fight Nights of
look at all these Italian names. Matteo Capiccioli, Orlando D'Ambroso.
Fight or Nothing. Yeah, there's some good names on these. For sure.
Virio Francignac or whatever. I can't say that guy's name.
Yeah, there's some Italian-ass names.
Yeah.
All right, well,
we're
going to do this the entire time.
So that's interesting. This guy, man, getting that win over Nicholas Dalby's...
Dalby's a tough out, too. Yeah, that dude is scrappy. He's like the Brian Barberena.
Dude, this is kind of tough to call, but then again, Brad Scott has a win over Scott Askham. He lost to Krzysztof Yatko.
He's definitely been up and down.
Claudius. Yeah, this is... He's fought Robert Whittaker. Yeah, I'm going to go with the British guy based on who he's fought.
You and Scott?
Yeah, usually how I have to do with that. It's based on who you fought. I'm going to go with decision.
I can't tell if this beer smells like weed or if this room smells like weed.
Probably both.
Smell this beer and tell me how much it smells like weed.
It smells a lot like weed.
It's the Emperor from New Belgium. I think it's the aftertaste especially tastes a fuckload like weed. It's kind of crazy. Like it tastes has that like sweet THC flavor, which is weird.
Does it like ruin the beer? Or?
No, it's really really good actually. I might have to get you a glass here in a minute and have you at least just take a sip.
It's a little taster, yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of fucking amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, actually, you guys, I think the Emperor from New Belgium, might be my new shit. It tastes like I'm chewing on nugs a little bit. It's pretty fucked up. Anyway, yeah. So in this one,
who do you like?
The thing is so Peter Solly's a southpaw, and I believe Scott is an orthodox fighter. Scott normally is a pressure counter fighter with slow hands. But he does throw a big right straight, and he has good cage grappling. Peter Solly has a big left straight, and he gets stuck against the cage. He did drop Dalby ducking left high kick off a right feint. So essentially, he threw He threw the straight, and then came over the top or faked the straight, and then came over the top of the ducking high kick, and completely clipped Dalby and put him out, or at least wobbled him bad enough the ref stopped it. I think this is going to be a really, really close fight. A lot of it, I think, depends on how the clinch exchanges go. I'm going to go with Scott.
Michael Scott?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Scott only because I just don't have enough faith in Pedersoli's background. Like, yeah, I haven't seen him face anybody other than Dalby.
That's kind of how I was.
I have any kind of real confidence in.
What do you think method of victory here?
Decision.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me a little bit is Scott did have some trouble against Askham, who's also a southpaw. So that could play in, but I'm gonna go Scott in this one for sure. And while you break down this next one or discuss
what are the odds for this?
Oh yeah,
if we can pull that up.
I will do that, and then I will go get you a glass because I can taste nothing but weed because of this beer, and it's fucking blowing my mind right now. It's fucked up, you guys. It tastes so much like weed. I've chewed, as someone who's chewed on a nug or...
Like, my sinuses are still kind of fucked up, but if I say it immediately smells like weed, that means it's overpowering.
It's not even the fact that when you drink it, it tastes like weed. It's the fact that 2 minutes after you drink it, all you can taste is like you chewed on a stem. It's pretty fucked up. Let's see. The Brad Scott fight. Wow, Brad Scott's a plus 140? What the fuck?
Huh. What the Brit would be.
Brad Scott plus 140 to Carlo Pedersoli's minus 150. That seems crazy to me.
So up next we have fellow British or Englishman Tom Breeze is fighting Australian, or is he New Zealand? No, he's Australian. Australian Daniel Kelly, a very veteran judo and kickboxing guy. I know he's older. Yeah, he's 40 years old. It kind of looks like Brett Favre. Just a little bit. Tom Breeze has a record of 10-1. He's fighting out of Birmingham, England, by way of the Peaky fucking Blinders. Sorry, I love that show.
Really? Yeah. I've never watched it, but I heard good things.
That show is fucking fantastic.
I'll have to check it out.
Last time we saw Tom Breeze, he had a split decision loss to Sean Strickland.
Weed beer.
Thanks, sir. No shame in that, considering Strickland had his first time getting
This whole room
finished.
smells like weed because of this beer. This is fucking crazy. I'm kind of... Because I had a sip of it earlier, but I was also drinking the Pliny. Doesn't taste like weed that much. But give it a minute or two and keep talking, and then let me know how much everything tastes like weed in your vicinity.
Yeah, I don't know, like... I don't want to say I don't like the beer, because it tastes fine.
It's not bad. It's just weird.
Dude, it's just a smell that's just kind of distracting. I don't know. I guess I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it smells like weed, though. But, like, in a weird way.
Yeah.
Let it soak in, and we'll come back to it here in a bit.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah, so he had a split decision loss to Sean Strickland. Before that, he had a unanimous victory over Japan's Kita Nakamura. He defeated one of the GOATs, Katal Pendra, via TKO punches a couple years ago. So yeah, it looks like Breeze, I think he's been out via injury. This guy hasn't fought in a while. Yeah, wow, 2016. His opponent, the gritty Daniel Kelly out of Australia, 13-3.
That's right, 900 years old.
He'll fight anyone. Fuck, dude, he finished Shoeface? Dude,
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah,
that
it's
sounds
crazy.
Crazy. Jesus.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was one of the most wrong I've ever been in a fight.
Huh.
Because I don't know if you guys have noticed. Big
Oh, yeah, he
Shoeface
beat
fan.
Rashad Evans.
Yeah, Steve Montgomery and Chris Camozzi. And then
He got brutally knocked the fuck out by Derek Brunson.
I mean,
felt
that's a
bad,
terrible
yeah.
matchup. And
He-
then Elias decision him
yeah.
because that's what Elias does.
Yeah.
He's had 2 bad matchups back to back.
I don't remember Tom Breeze's fighting style, man. I don't even think I've seen tape on this guy.
You definitely have. You probably saw the Sean Strickland fight.
Fuck.
So from what I remember from Tom Breeze, he's a southpaw and he's a low volume counter kickboxer. And then of course Kelly's also a southpaw.
He's a counter guy. I know
He's
that.
gonna mostly lean on his clinch and judo, high level judo game. I think a lot of this comes down to can Dan Kelly implement an ugly clinch game in this fight or not?
Yeah, as much as I like Dan Kelly's grittiness, and I know he said if he loses he's retiring, I gotta go with Breeze. Cause I remember Jack Slack was talking up Breeze pretty good, saying he's supposed to be like the next big thing for UK fight scene.
Also,
as far as like his athleticism is his fight raw talent.
Yeah.
But
Also,
he hasn't fought in like 2 years.
Well, and also is he moving up in this fight? What was his last fight at?
His last fight at welterweight.
Yeah, he's at 185 now, right?
Ooh, yeah, he is.
So that's the other thing that's kind of interesting is now that he's moving up in weight,
Cutting less weight, yeah.
To face Dan
Yeah,
Kelly, it's one of those like, is that going to help or hurt?
I'm going Tom Breeze via decision because Kelly's a tough out. But I'm probably going to be wrong here.
I'm not. The odds definitely don't think so. You guys, I think I'm picking Dan Kelly, and I don't know why.
No, why not?
I don't have a reason to pick him.
I mean, he beat Shoeface.
I shouldn't pick Dan Kelly in this.
You can call it a draw.
No, I'm picking it by decision. I don't know why, and it doesn't make any sense to me. I was going to say I don't think he's going to win, but I do, mostly because I have no faith in Tom Breeze. However, looking at the odds, this makes me very
how
nervous.
much of a favorite is Tom Breeze?
Tom Breeze is a negative 310 favorite to a plus 280.
Ooh.
Dan Kelly. So if you bet $100, you win $280 on Dan Kelly. I don't recommend you do that because I don't think that's gonna happen, but I evidently do also. So I don't know. I'm no help. I don't get it, but sure. Yeah, I'll go Dan Kelly.
So next up, we have a welterweight bout between Brazil's Claudio Silva, aka Hannibal. I hope he doesn't eat his opponents. And France's Nordine Taleb.
Also, spoiler alert, I have Nordine in fantasy, so take that for what it's worth.
Claudio Silva, he has a record of 11-1 professionally.
Last fight?
He was supposed to fight CR Bahadurzada, but that got canceled. And he was supposed to fight Nordine Taleb, 3 years ago. So they're running it back. They're rescheduling 3 years later.
His last fight was the split decision win over Leon Edwards.
Holy shit!
2014.
Okay.
2 years before Conor McGregor's last fight.
Initially on my picks that never got submitted, I picked Taleb because he's been killing it lately. I can't pick a guy who hasn't fought in fucking 4 years. I'm sorry.
This is why
I know
picked him
ring
in
rust.
fantasy.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
That's crazy, right?
I feel like a dick saying because like I don't.
Also, do you remember Nordine Taleb's last fight?
If I saw it, I'd
Scroll
be like, "That's
down,
recent."
and I'll remind you. Remember when
that was fucking
head
brutal.
kicked and finished?
I remember that.
He
It was
head kicked Danny Roberts. Danny Roberts crucified himself on the cage, and then he right-handed him to death.
Yeah.
It was one of the ugliest chaos. Because he head kicked him, and Danny Roberts falls backwards with arms straight out, stretched in the T-pose. And then he lands two right hands and puts it out
my favorite
hard.
karma KO of all time, the Eric Silva fight. Where Silva pretended he's like, hey, let's touch
Oh,
gloves.
yeah.
Said, fuck you, sucker punched him.
And
then Taleb hit him right on the temple and knocked him the fuck out.
It's a very good one.
Yeah.
Fucking Eric Silva. That was juiced Eric Silva, too, back then, right?
That was.
Or just off the juice?
I think it was just off the juice. Silva.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Allegedly, we should say also, because he never popped.
Excuse me.
He just looks like a
I'm
completely
going
different
Taleb
human
by fucking knockout. This dude hits hard.
I am too.
He's at TriStar.
I'm gonna go TKO in
or
the...
TKO, excuse me.
I mean, either way. I'm gonna go...
I'm gonna say like second round, something like that. I think Claudio's gonna shoot on him in the first round a lot.
I think first round, honestly.
First round?
Because the thing is I just don't... I don't know that Claudio can get the takedown, and if Claudio can't get the takedown, he's in a fucking world of trouble.
Dang, 4 years though.
So yeah, that's the thing. That layoff is insane.
Troubling.
So.
Next up, we have a middleweight bout between American Eric Spicely, a jiu-jitsu guy, versus UK's or England's, whatever you want to call it, Darren Stewart, the dentist. That's right, I remember this guy. Eric Spicely has a record of 10-3. Last time we saw him, he's on a 2-fight skid currently. Fuck, he got knocked out by Gerald Mearshart.
So, yes. However, he did win the shit out of that first round. By just getting his back and completely controlling him for the first round. And then
this is that dude who had that fucking gnarly comeback and clipped him, I think, against the cage, right? Yep.
Yeah. He lost the shit out of that first round. And then lost to Shoeface is like, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
I don't really hold that shit against
That was
anybody.
just like, who's BJJ is going to win.
Yeah, the only thing that really stands out on his record as weird is Sam Alvey subbed him via choke.
That's weird, yeah.
That's not how Sam Alvey normally wins fights. As a huge Sam Alvey fan, it's not...
Sam Alvey probably impressed himself.
Yeah, he's not out here subbing dudes on the rigs.
Englishman Darren the Dentist Stewart
Bad
is
run.
on, technically a 4-fight skid, but it's a 3-fight skid. The other fight was a no contest. He got finished by
Francois
Barbozo, but that was called a no contest. Probably illegal knee, if I were to imagine. Or illegal something.
It was something. I just rewatched this. It was, shit.
Oh, dude, did this get announced? I didn't even fucking realize that. Brad Tavares is fighting Israel Adesanya on the tough finale?
Tavares Adesanya, yeah.
Wow, that's a good fight.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like that's a one-sided fight.
We'll see. I know Tavares still hits hard, so we'll see.
Tavares is also good on the ground, which people forget about.
That's true. So anyways, last time we saw Darren Stewart, he got styled on by Julian Marquez, the dude from like Florida.
To be fair, Julian Marquez does that shit to dudes. He just puts a pace out there.
He's a good young up-and-comer. And I like that guy's charisma. I like that guy's attitude. I remember I listened to him on Unfiltered a couple months ago. I like that guy.
He's got a bit of a Gastelum or a Whitaker.
And he has a fantastic nickname, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Bilal Muhammad kind of vibe, where they're just these high volume pressure fighters who will just walk through shit and are also very good on the ground if you're willing to engage.
So I think this one I'm going to lean towards Eric Spicely. Darren Stewart's been submitted by guys who, yes, I know Marquez pieced him up and as a wrestler and then submitted him and got his back, but I feel like Spicely's going to be able to get this to the ground.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement. I actually have Spicely by first round rear naked choke, mostly because Darren Stewart in the who was the fight before Julian Marquez? Carl Roberson. Carl Roberson was able to completely just like scramble with him to a point where he gave his back and got caught. And Eric Spicely is a decent to good back taker. I think that's going to play a big factor in this fight. I think he's going to be a little too willing to engage in scrambles. And so Spicely's an orthodox fighter. He does have good ground game and back control, but he does throw looping shots into telegraph takedowns, which is the one thing that makes me question whether or not he's going to be able to take this to the ground. However, Stewart is an orthodox fighter as well, and his last fight was so fucking weird. Darren Stewart played this weird outside kickboxing game where he threw a lot of bullshit, but not a lot with conviction. And he just seemed weird in his last fight. So he could have turned that around, and I would feel more comfortable picking him. But at the time, the way Spicely was able to get the back of his last opponent and almost get the finish before the next round, and the way dude got his back taken by Roberson, I just gotta go Spicely in this by RNC.
So, what are the odds on this one?
Let's see. So the odds on the Spicely fight. Spicely is a minus 155 favorite to Darren Stewart's plus 145 underdog. I feel like that's about right.
So next up we have, I don't know if he's still out of SBG Ireland.
I don't know, his Tapology picture is fucking ridiculous, though.
Yeah, I know. It's with these other Finnish chicks, I imagine. He's called Mr. Finland.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those... Look on Tapology, it's just him all dressed up like in slacks and a dress shirt, and these like blonde chicks are just like caressing him.
And then there's one brunette in the background that like is cut off and you can't even see her.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they must all be blonde because they're Finnish.
I'm
right?
assuming it's his actual girlfriend or something in the background. He's like, hey, cut my girlfriend out of it. Let's have all these terrible fake blondes in the foreground.
Yeah, their hair must be platinum. Last time we saw, and Makwan Americani, he's fighting against Mississippi's. This is probably, I don't realize how
Jason
many
the Cannibal Knight.
Yeah, Jason Knight.
You remember why I call him the Cannibal, right?
Oh, he bit Mowgli, right?
He bit the shit out of Benitez. Yeah.
That's right. Makwan Americani, last time we saw him, Mr. Finland, he had a split decision loss to the UK's Arnold Allen.
Which is a really close fight.
Yeah.
Back and forth as hell.
He had a decision victory over Mike Wilkinson. He's choked out Masio Fullen. I remember Andy Ogle. That dude's a tough son of a bitch on Tough. I remember that guy.
Tough, not... He
right.
has a little bit of God, who's the fucking tattooed guy
Russ
from
Pearson.
Tough Smashes?
No, not Ross Pearson.
You know what I'm talking about? The real lanky dude? Yeah. I love that guy.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I can't either. Shit.
Didn't Robert Whitaker end up knocking that dude the fuck out? Oh no, he was a weight class below Whitaker, I think.
Yeah. Well, went over Tom Duquesnoy back in the day too.
Wow.
Okay. That looks good in retrospect. At Cage 21, whatever that is.
Oh. So that's for Mr. Finland. Last time we saw Jason, he's on a 2-fight skid. He had a unanimous decision loss to
two good fighters, though.
Gabriel Benitez. Yeah, very good fighter. He's at AKA now. And Ricardo Lamas, and he got TKO finished, but goddamn, the chin on Knight was nuts in that fight. And that was in the first round, too, which is crazy.
He ate some bombs and still stood, and then eventually got taken out.
Before that, he had a TKO over Chaz Skelly. After that, before that, he had choked out Bruce Leroy. Wow, that's impressive victory over Dan Hooker, who's been on a roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this should be a
before
good...
that was Kawajiri.
This should be a good fucking fight.
It should be fun, man, for sure. I think it's going to come down to the grappling exchanges, mostly.
Yeah, and this is why I'm actually going to lean towards Jason Knight. Straight Blast Gym, I think it was Jack. I don't know if it was Jack Slack or if it was him who talked about it.
It was Heavy Hands.
It was Heavy Hands.
Nope,
yes.
it was Vivisection.
It was Vivisection. They said Straight Blast Gym. It's like the only guy they teach how to properly strike is BK.
Yeah, BK is the only one who actually. Everyone else just seems like they watch BK and try and pick up what he's doing.
So, like, dude, if Amir Khani had good grappling, I would probably lean towards him.
He does. But him and Arnold Allen had very back and forth grappling exchanges in that fight.
Okay. Well, I mean...
So it's really going to come down to, like... Can Jason Knight put out...
I'm going Knight by sub, because Amir Khani's a tough... No. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going Knight by sub late. I don't give a shit. Why not?
So I've been
what are the odds on this, by the way? They've got to be towards Amir Khani, maybe? Because it's in Europe?
No, Jason Knight is a minus 160 favorite to plus 160 Americani.
Okay.
I actually am going. I'm going Jason Knight as well. The reason I'm leaning Jason Knight.
How do you think he's gonna win?
Decision. The main reason is I think he's gonna put out enough volume to win rounds against a Makwan Americani who's gonna try and wrestle fuck him and not do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So while it'll be ugly as shit, and I expect this fight to be real ugly, I just think Jason Knight's gonna land slightly more and do well enough in the grappling exchanges that he ends up taking a close decision, probably 29-28.
Yeah, I could see that. Either way, I think it's going to be a close fucking fight. It should be a good
It should be. And it should be a lot of fun. Those grappling exchanges should be fun as hell. The striking will be interesting. If Jason Knight can get his striking going and really shut down the takedown attempts of Makwan, I think Makwan's in big trouble.
Yep. Next up, we have England's Arnold Almighty Allen going up against Denmark's Mads Burnell. Last time Arnold Allen's record is 12-1 professionally. Last time we saw him, he had a split decision victory over Makwan Americani.
Yep. In a super close fight.
Before that, he had this unanimous decision victory over Yatsin Meza. Before that, against Germany's Alan Omer. Mads Burnell, I know I've seen fight a couple of times. He's a scrappy guy.
Yeah, he's coming off that win over Mike Santiago.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. Before that, he got choked out by Michel Praceres,
who's
no longer a lightweight.
Fucking lightweight. Yeah, not even close.
Yeah. He's like similar to Matt Serra's build.
Is that MMA Gala 1? Is that what that says?
Gala. Let's see what this is. It's obviously
that's a good name. Also, Ice FC 2 is a good name. Oh man, hold on, keep scrolling down. There's some good ones here.
Octagon Athletes.
There you go. Battle of Copenhagen. Battle of Copenhagen is what Jeff Sherwood does every time he tries to buy dip.
Yeah, right.
Trophy MMA 4.
Like, what? Imagine if it's like in Iceland or some Battle of Skull.
Trophy MMA. Yeah, that'd be good. Trophy MMA 4 sounds like a fake league in
something
a
in
terrible
MMA
shit. Game.
Yeah.
Like if you were to do like an open source MMA game, you would have Trophy Fighting 4.
I love this. European MMA 8. It's now or never.
Evidently not European MMA. Evidently it's not now or ever.
So yeah, Mads Burnell so he's been up and down a little bit. He had a little 3-fight win streak. Fernando Duarte
in tiny organizations no one knows of.
He beat 2 Swiss guys. Don't know what the fuck country that is. What is that? Tassanar? What? Estonia. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Shouts out to.
See, I'm always a dick with like the former Soviet Union countries.
Oh, I can't remember the name of the Uncle Penny. Shouts out to Uncle Penny. Cool dude.
So, this is interesting. We have Arnold Allen, who's a striker for sure, if I remember correctly. He's like a boxer.
Yeah. Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So.
I have him on fantasy.
Allen's a southpaw pressure kickboxer.
He's my pick, by the way, guys. That's why I fucking picked him in fantasy.
100%. He's a pressure kickboxer from southpaw who has a good top game. Mads Burnell is an orthodox fighter with aggressive wrestling and good top game, but he did fade a bit in his last fight. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm going Arnold Allen by decision via ground and pound, and top control, and probably winning a lot of the exchanges on the feet. I think he's going to be able to shut down a lot of the entries from Masvidal. I think he will get stuck against the cage a bit, and he will probably end up on his back at some point. But other than that, I think he'll end up, again, landing more damage and doing a bit more to get the rounds.
Q timestamp this. Dude, sorry, I got to piss so
Go for it, dude.
Sorry.
No worries.
I'd rather not try to rush the comment.
No, yeah. No, don't worry about it. As long as you tell me the timestamp, but it makes it easy. Miss you. Don't waste your time on me. I'm all ready.
My bad, dude.
So it's all good, dude. I actually had to take a piss too, so it worked out well.
Cool.
Dude,
I don't like that beer. I'm sorry, man. I just felt like I just smoked a bowl, dude. Like,
dude, all I can smell is weed.
it's just. I'm sorry. That's. What, it's just like fuck.
Dude, how much does it smell and taste like weed afterwards?
Yeah.
Like, not when you're drinking it, but like 10 minutes later, everything in your whole face area feels like weed, right?
Yeah.
Kind of weird. I bet your brother would love it.
I don't know.
Oh, we're doing good on time. Nice. We're going to end up being under 2 hours, probably.
Okay. All right. fuck are we again? Oh, wait, we said Arnold Allen, right?
Go to the picks page again, and we'll find out.
Yeah, we said Allen.
All right, cool.
Should I go to... Oh, okay, so I'll just go into... What are the odds in this fight, right?
All right, we're back. Sorry, Chris and I had to take a piss break because this weed beer evidently got to us. Dude, my whole face smells and feels like weed now.
I don't like it only because it's like, dude, it just tastes like I smoked a bowl.
It tastes like... 100% like we smoked a bowl.
God
Speaking of which, pass me that totally not marijuana device you have to the right of you.
It's fucking legal here, man.
That's right. It's fucking legal, unlike Darren Till's weight cutting, which we'll get to in a second. Up next, right, we should do odds for this. So, yeah, like I said, we both have Allen in that one, right?
Yes.
Let's see. The odds are Arnold Allen is a -210 favorite to Mads Burnell's +190. I feel like that's about accurate.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit wide for, like, I feel like Mads Burnell is a live dog in that, but not live enough for me to pick him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Speaking of live dogs, I don't think Craig White is one of them. This is a How much better would this card be if this was Gunnar Nelson?
Okay. I'll just say this right now. I don't want to say I feel bad for Craig White, because maybe he's just like a hidden talent and he's going to shine here, and this is like his big fucking debut, and he's better than anyone thought.
If dude gets this win, that 100% makes him relevant in this division.
Yeah. But... by the way, he's fighting out of Exmouth, England, but he's by way of Wales. He's a Welshman.
I fucking love Wales, by the way. Shouts out to the Mumbles Mile, one of my favorite ever Zane Lamprey episodes of Three Sheets.
Shouts out to fellow Welsh fighters Jack Marshman and Brett Johns.
I was going to say, I don't remember Jack Marshman, so good call.
And Brett Johns?
Brett Johns is great, yeah.
Yeah.
Welsh people from everyone I've ever heard interviewed or talked to, super fun and super friendly and a lot of drunks in a fun way.
Just don't piss off Christian Bale, but even though he lost his Welsh accent.
The fuck are you doing?
You're messing with my fucking lights, man.
Fucking whatever.
I'm fucking done with you professionally.
Christian Bale's such an idiot.
Great actor, but kind of psychotic. But then again, American Psycho is one of my favorite guilty...
you mean actors are psychotic, bro?
Well, it's because he's a method actor.
No, it's because actors are terrible people. No, yeah. I fucking there's
Tom Hanks kind of seems like he'd be...
No, I imagine he's off. There's two actors I would ever want to hang out with.
Oh, you know what that reminds me of? I saw on Reddit. Tim Allen, right? On Improvement.
Oh, the cokehead?
Yeah, I remember he ratted out a bunch of people after he got busted for a buckload of coke.
For dealing coke, yeah.
That's
Tim Allen's a piece of shit.
What an idiot.
Also, he starred in a Christmas movie about snow. So think about that.
The Santa Claus, right?
Yeah. Oh,
fucking some
1, 2,
bullshit.
and 3, which, by the way, are great movies. I love those movies. I also watched a lot of fucking Home Improvement as a kid, and my dad would constantly be like, at me, so take that for what it's worth. But I will say...
He's fighting Neil Magny, by the way, guys, which is why I'm not...
I guess that's more relevant than me saying that the two best actors and the only people I want to meet are Daniel Day-Lewis and Vincent D'Onofrio. Crispin Glover, too, probably.
Vincent D'Onofrio heard's probably a really cool guy.
I think they're both probably... Well, the thing about Daniel Day-Lewis... I feel like he would be either a lot of fun to meet or awful to meet, depending on what role he was playing at the time.
What he's preparing
or
for.
Whether he's currently an Italian shoe cobbler in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
So. But Vincent D'Onofrio and Crispin Glover, actually, I've revised. Those are the two, and they are dope as shit. Anyway, Neil Magny is neither of those men.
Neil Magny, the American fight. What does he fight at? Oh, he fights at Elevation. That's right.
Yeah.
In Denver.
I always mix up Elevation and wherever TJ used to be.
He was at Elevation.
Kind of. He's like Muscle Farm Elevation.
That was Elevation.
Right, but like that's why I mix up all the Denver teams into one. Also, not X Gym. That's Brazil.
303 is where Rose is with Justin Gaethje and all those people.
Right, there's 303, and then there was another one that had Cross and all them. That like wasn't in. I don't even think it's in Colorado, but it's like semi-affiliated kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
That's the one Joe Warren, Megan Anderson, X Factory.
Yeah.
They're like all like kind of they're friendly kind of thing. It's a weird relationship from what I understand. But then again, Anyway, Craig White versus Neil Magny is a weird matchup.
Yeah, Neil Magny, last time we saw him, he beat Carlos Condit via unanimous decision victory last December. Before that, he got choked out by RDA in RDA's welterweight debut.
This beer smells like more weed than the weed I just smoked.
I'm fucking over that beer, man.
It's fucked. It's like, it tastes...
Like, there's nothing wrong with the taste. It's just the aftertaste, man, and the fucking smell. It's like,
it tastes like chewing on stems.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not a hypocrite. I'll smoke weed and drink beer, too, and chill out, but not like...
It doesn't taste like smoking weed, though. It tastes like chewing on a stem. It's very weird. It's like floral and weird. Anyway, sorry, I just can't focus on anything else right now. Alright, so Darren Till, or no, not Darren Till, Craig White, the ghetto Darren Till. I'm just kidding. He's a wrestler. He's not at all like Darren Till. Craig White, from what the little bit of tape I watched, is mostly a pressure wrestler with good ground game.
He's a big welterweight.
He's a big dude.
Wow.
He's big as fuck, yeah.
Fuck, wonder if he made weight.
He did. Yeah, the only two people who blew weight, ironically, were the
Liverpool fighters,
two
right?
locals. Yeah. Monica and Darren Till.
And Darren, until next time. Just kidding.
Yeah. Meatball and Until Next Time were the only two.
That's my nickname for him, unfortunately. He's just too big. And we'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I haven't watched tape study Craig White. What do you give his odds? I'm going with Neil Magny, but what kind of odds do you... What are the actual odds, and what kind of odds do you give him based on tape study?
So...
And I'm going Magny by decision.
Craig White...
This Craig White guy is fucking huge, so...
Yeah, the two things about Craig White that are notable is he's definitely a pressure wrestler, and he's very good off his back.
Okay.
He has a sub via triangle in his last fight. He set it up earlier in the fight, and that looked kind of close, and then he hit it, I believe the second round. Yeah, the second round. It was a very good triangle. So he's a live dog off his back. However, let's see. The odds right now are Neil Magny is a minus 650 to a plus 475. Craig White. While those are wide as fuck, I would probably see it closer to like a minus 470 or so for Neil Magny. But I have Neil Magny heavily favored in this, or favored rather.
What's your pick?
I got Magny. The thing is, why don't you go to Craig White? Are you on Craig White's page? Scroll down. What was his last loss? Punch, and the last time he got choked was Oscar Peixoto, which was in 2015.
Polish guy.
I wish it said what kind of choke that was, because if it was an RNC, I would maybe go Neil Magny. I'm going to go Neil Magny via decision.
Let me see.
I don't think it'll say. I'm going to go Neil...
It just says via submission.
Via sub, yeah. I'm going to go Neil Magny via decision. I don't think that... I think he's going to win this fight, whether it be on the feet or on the ground. The only thing that makes me wonder how this turns out is if Neil Magny sticks his head in something stupid, whether it be a triangle or a guillotine. I think that's how Neil loses this fight if he does. I don't think he gets clipped. Unless Craig White is just awesome at leg kicks. That is the other variable. However, he's a wrestler who doesn't... I haven't seen any of that in his game, so... I'm definitely going Neil Magny. Yeah, most likely by decision. Would not be surprised by ground and pound TKO, though.
So in the main event of the evening, we have the United States' Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, UFC veteran, fights out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. He's a karate-style fighter and counter-striker. Going up against Liverpool, England's Darren Till, who's still very young. Yeah, he just turned 25.
Oh, something like that,
last December. So still young in the
Jesus
game.
Christ, yeah, born 3 years after me.
Dude, he's probably the biggest welterweight on the roster.
Up there. Like, it depends on how you... Yeah, it depends on how you measure that.
Well, yeah, this Craig White guy's fucking huge,
James
too.
Vick is taller than him.
And this Craig White guy's fucking huge. He's 6'2".
Yeah.
So... And he made weight?
Depends on how you classify big. Like, he's wide as shit.
So, we'll say it now. Darren Till missed weight by 3.5 pounds, so...
Yep.
Making weight not making weight regardless.
And
here's the discrepancy, folks. The bout agreement as of now, based on management from Wonderboy, Darren Till can't weigh more than 188 pounds tomorrow. I'm saying right now, I don't think this fight's happening.
I don't think it is either.
Unfortunately.
Unless the commission doesn't give a shit and they let it go on anyway.
I can see that. They're gonna. I think
Liverpool.
I think they're gonna fight.
Like, I don't know. Do you know shit about the Liverpool commission? Because I sure as hell don't.
I think they'll let it fight.
And
they're gonna let it do it. And Dana's gonna be like, Dana's.
I feel like they'll talk to him.
No, Dana needs Till to fight.
And Liverpool just had a loss today on their football team. Like, I feel like this fight's probably going to happen regardless. Stephen Thompson, I think, will want the fight regardless, especially if Till had to pretend to make 88 and he, can't. I don't think he makes 88. No. If he does make 88, I think he's
I'll say this right now. If he makes 88, I think Wonderboy finished him in the second round, dude. He's going to gas so fucking fast.
So hard.
He'll knock him out.
Yeah, it's fucked
He'll clip him bad. Regardless, so, theoretically, Chris, if he made weight, and he'd have the fucking massive weight advantage over Wonderboy, how do you think this goes?
I still had Thompson.
I still had Thompson, too.
I had Thompson via later knockout.
Knockout, really? I had him by decision.
I had him TKO fourth.
But then again, I haven't really seen Till in 5 rounds, and I don't know if he's ever gone 5 rounds.
He went to a draw with Nicholas Dalby at a 3-rounder, and that was because he faded so fucking hard after the first.
Yeah, that weight cut fucks him up.
I had Thompson anyway in the 4th. I think he was gonna. Because he's gonna do 2 things that I think are the 100% wrong way to fight Stephen Thompson. He's gonna come forward and throw a lot of volume, which leaves a lot of openings, and he's going to try and push the pace to a point where it's just going to lead to more counters. And I think that's the 2 things that make Stephen Thompson the most dangerous. One thing that he does have on his side is he does have sharp boxing, and unlike guys like Johnny Hendricks or other pressure fighters he's fought in the past, he's going to, Wonderboy's not going to lead with the hands, and Darren Till is very sharp at throwing straight, down the pipe shots. However, man, before missing weight, I already had Stephen Thompson because I think he's going to be able to circle the cage, play a dumb outside game, and make Darren Till run into some shit, Lyoto Machida style.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, with blowing weight, I give Darren Till about 5.5 minutes of cardio. So, if this fight happens, I have Stephen Wonderboy Thompson heavily.
Okay, so what... I mean... This is the thing, man. I don't even know if he could fight welterweight again unless he changes something up. He's just fucking too big. But then again, I said that about Craig White. But then again, everyone's body's different. Till could have more mass, and
he should move up.
Yeah,
he'd
be fine. Well, I shouldn't say he'd be fine in middleweight. It definitely would help his cardio. It would help his cardio for sure. He's still cutting 30 fucking pounds allegedly.
That's the thing is you can't talk about weighing 200 pounds in this weight. You can do that if you're making weight every time.
Yeah, you can't brag about that. Yes, the reason why he was making weight at welterweight because he has a huge, massive fucking size advantage.
Well, and he cuts weight the old Muay Thai way. He doesn't cut water weight. He cuts he'll stop eating and just work out double.
Because dude, I saw an interview he had. I can't remember who it was. It was a local Liverpool, I think, news thing. He kept He kept swallowing and stuff like that.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah, and he was slow when he was talking, and it just didn't look good, and fuck. I mean, I like Darren Till from what I've seen of him so far, and I wish him the best. He's an exciting fighter. He's fun to listen to talk, and
for sure,
I like his energy. But yeah, I just don't see him at welterweight. I don't see him at welterweight.
I think
he's gonna
this is a bad style matchup for this dude. Because Stephen Thompson, I think, is just too crafty.
Yeah.
And it plays too well into Stephen Thompson's
Let's look at this
game.
real quick, by the way, because I remember I was telling you earlier, I was looking at current welterweight champion Tyron Woodley's live, he had a live chat thing or a live video on Instagram. He was saying no one's beating Wonderboy except me. Yeah. And let's look at Wonderboy's resume real quick. His last victory was a unanimous decision over Jorge Masvidal, who me and you both thought was going to beat Wonderboy. His last fight against that was not a fun fight to watch at all. No. Lost a majority decision to current champ Tyron Woodley. Before that, a very good fight. He had a fought to a draw against Harwood. That was a fantastic fight.
Well,
it was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
I wouldn't say fantastic because the stalemating was much more interesting in the first one.
Yeah. Look at
the second time you're like, oh, we're still doing this.
Before that, he beat Rory McDonald pretty decisively.
Yeah, via Rory McDonald rolling for Imanari.
After that, he finished Johnny Hendricks in the first fucking round. After Johnny Hendricks was pretty much the champ.
Saw that in New Orleans with Trevor, and that was crazy. Fucking wild.
Yeah.
I was losing my goddamn mind.
Before that, he knocked out Jake Ellenberger, who said, haha, karate, that's funny. He knocked out or beat Patrick O'Tay. Knocked out Bobby Knuckles back in the day. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's one of the craziest.
That's probably like the most impressive fucking victory on here if you think about it.
Yeah,
Holy
it's also
shit.
one of Matt Brown's most impressive.
That's true,
victories.
Matt Brown. Yeah,
is when he hit that comeback finish against.
Or he won this.
Or decision.
Yeah,
I would say the
when
comeback
he
knocked
him
him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the only thing with Wonderboy is. Like, Wonderboy is very, very fucking good. I wonder how he's going. So, assuming...
What's next for him? Say he wins,
Usman.
right? Fuck, I don't know if Wonderboy takes that fight.
I don't think he does. I don't think there's anything for him to gain. I don't think there's a point. And it's going to... If he does win, it won't get him a title shot because he's going to look like garbage.
He's just going to wait.
Look like a Woodley fight.
He'll just have to wait.
Yeah, but I don't know that he ever gets that shot by waiting.
He'll just have to hope that the winner of RDA Colby beats Woodley.
He could maybe get a win if he fought the winner or the loser of RDA Colby, that could propel him to a title shot again.
Yeah.
Because those dudes are way more finishable than a fight with him and Usman would be. Him and Usman, I'm calling it right now, is going to look identical to Woodley Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm fucking calling that. Usman's not going to push shit. He's going, and I love Usman. I'm a big Usman fan, and I want to see him fight Tyron Woodley for what most people will call the most boring fight in all of MMA history. I think it's going to be very interesting because they're both going to be counterpunchers who don't want to engage in the wrestling, and it's going to be really fucking weird. But I think he styles on Darren Till in this fight before the weight cut issues. After the weight cut issues. So if this fight doesn't happen, now what do you do with Thompson? I think then you can actually give him the loser of Woodley, or of RDA Colby, and then that actually makes sense.
What do you do with Till?
Because normally you gotta bump Till up a weight class at least for a fight. We can't have
what they did to Gaslam, right?
We can't have you main eventing a card in your hometown and have you blow weight by that bad. Like 4 pounds is a lot of weight, and he brags about how he comes in over. So you can't
you can't be bragging about that.
He kind of sealed his own fate with that. I think he has to move up if they're smart, and if Johnny Hendricks is real dumb, they give him Johnny Hendricks versus Darren Till, and he styles on Johnny Hendricks. Because Johnny Hendricks doesn't look the same.
I remember someone mentioned...
I don't know if Hendricks is going to Bellator.
You know what someone mentioned? Like, how would you like to see Darren Till versus Paulo Costa?
Okay.
That's not even a bad fight.
No, like any of the dudes Johnny Hendricks
big
fought.
too. He could fucking stand and bang with Paulo Costa.
There's a couple guys at 85 that would be interesting fights that you could
Dude,
probably...
I almost want to see him fight Luke Rockhold, even that's a huge step up.
Yeah, Luke's down with 205, I think. I mean with 85.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's too big for that.
Although Luke also just blew his knee out.
Fuck, yeah. I feel his knees are just fucked. He's kind of like Kane, dude. The whole camp, man.
They go hard as fuck, man.
Yeah.
If you watch, like... You gotta realize he's rolling with Kane. Because DC's rolling with 35.
Doesn't spar. Remember that? Habib says he doesn't spar because they go too hard.
He doesn't spar
right?
boxing.
Yeah, boxing.
He wrestles Cormier a lot. But he doesn't
hand Kane.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, dude, fucking Kane and DC are like rolling with 55ers on the fucking Ultimate Fighter right now.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I gotta catch it.
You see
I noticed, dude, finally, the UFC Fight Pass app has caught up with regular cable. I just went on there yesterday. It said episode 6 is on there. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, I gotta catch up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like that should never happen.
I wonder if they don't give a shit about Fox anymore.
I don't think they care. I noticed that because I was thinking, wait, logically that shouldn't be allowed.
No, because normally they do like 3 episodes.
Unless I'm tripping, I swear to God, maybe I was a little too high the other night.
Possible.
It's very possible, but I was on there and it said episode 6, and I saw like should Stipe. I was like, what the fuck? So,
that'd be cool if they started doing that, because that I don't hate the Ultimate Fighter like everyone else.
I like it.
I don't pay attention for 90% of it. I just like have it on in the background until
I usually skip the drama bullshit and just go to the fights.
I don't even skip it. I'm just like doing other shit. Like I'm playing fucking WWE fucking Supercard or whatever dumb shit I'm playing on my phone, or like ignoring playing fucking UFC 3 like an idiot still. I don't even have PS Plus and I'm still playing UFC 3. Why am I playing Ultimate Team for an offline game?
Oh, God.
That's what I want to know, Chris. What am I doing with my life?
Fair, Ultimate Team's addicting.
I locked in GSP, so now I have to get 250 because I refuse to put money into any EA game. Yeah. I refuse to do it. So I have to fucking win enough Ultimate Team games to get enough coins to unlock GSP. It sucks. I have to get 250,000 coins. I'm at like 50,000 coins, and I do this every week. It sucks. It all sucks, Chris.
Yeah.
Anyway, Thompson Till. I have Thompson.
So do I. I have him by
clearly TKO. Probably. I originally had 4th round. I've got him late 2nd, early 3rd now. It depends on how hard Darren Till runs in at him. Because all week long, Darren Till's been saying, like, I'm going to bring the fucking pressure. I'm not going to let him sit in his corner.
I know it. I fucking know it in my heart.
I'm going to bring the pressure, and he's not going to be able to handle it. And then, like, Stephen Thompson, meanwhile, and everyone else who's ever fought Stephen Thompson is like, bro, this motherfucker's going to run at Wonderboy and get killed. And I 100% am on board with that. I think he's going to sprint at Wonderboy, throwing a bunch of volume, and he's going to get deaded in the first, probably, I'll say early 3rd, but 2nd, I feel like is probably the better pick. But I don't know, man. I would like to be wrong. I'd like new blood in that division.
No, why not?
I still think Darren Till needs to fight a wrestler, much like I think Conor McGregor still needs to fight a wrestler. Like, I don't want this dude to skip the Frankie Eggers of the divisions like Conor did, because that bugged the shit out of me. Like, oh, we gave Conor a wrestler who was on fucking 0 weeks notice, and Chad Mendes was fat as fuck, and he still grounded him the entire first round, or whatever. So I don't know. It's not that I think Darren Till is overrated. I think he's over. I think he gets matchups that are favorable as fuck. So
yeah.
I will call it there, but I think it should be a fun fight. Did we say the odds?
If it happens, I hope it fucking happens. Please, I really do.
I don't think we said the odds. Stephen Thompson is a minus 125 to a plus 115 Darren Till. That's recent, though. I had money on Stephen Thompson, like $5-10 bets. I've been putting him in like every once in a while during the week when I see the line change. I have I think a couple $5 bets on Stephen Thompson at minus 110, and I have a $5 bet at minus 110 and 2 $5 bets at minus 105 or something like that. Just because that's how I bet MMA. I don't like actually betting real money because it's too stressful. I like betting like garbage money that's like, hey, free burrito. That's
yeah, right, exactly.
I bet 6-pack money. Like,
exactly, yeah.
Will this win me a 6-pack if I could either have
Speaking of which, dude, if I was smart, even though I never bet on hockey, I think I read the line online. If you would have bet on the Vegas Golden Knights to win the Stanley Cup final, I think like something dumb like $100 bet would net you like $9,000, something ridiculous.
It was more than that. I think.
More than that, yeah. It has to be way more. It's probably like $15,000. Something stupid.
Something like that.
Yeah. Goddamn. Then again, you usually don't make bets like. Well, I might as well now. Whatever. When Seattle gets a team in 2020. Let's fucking go. Right?
Well, it's like parlays. Like it's the same thing as betting parlays, where like parlays are fun as hell, except there's always the one fight you fuck up, and then you're like, well, I would have made $300 tonight, but fucking this one dude can't stop takedowns evidently. So there with that.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, I guess we'll wrap this here. But I think this card should be fun. To be fair though, I love early morning cards like this.
I'm gonna miss this card
7 Pacific
entirely, unfortunately. Yeah, fuck. Oh well.
Well, I'm gonna be watching this at girlfriend Karen's house.
Are you gonna be up like at 7? Isn't that when the prelims start?
Oh yeah, 100%.
The main cards are what, 1 or 10?
10. 1 Eastern.
Oh jeez. Oh, it's 10. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, prelim. Yeah. Main card prelim started 8, I think.
That's not true. I'll be catching all the a lot of the prelims when I'm getting ready for work.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
I'll figure it out.
And also, we'll, like I said, you can watch my DVR stuff. We'll have you over. Wink, totally not winking. We'll get you watching it, but it should be. I think it'll be fun. I love these early morning cards. Especially since I have Monday off, so I'm going to be drinking heavily first thing in the morning. I already have some...
professional.
I've got leftover pizza, and I do have a bean and cheese burrito in storage just as backup. Shit. So I'm going ham.
You're right, 10 a.m. Wow, okay.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Eastern. Or 10 a.m. for
Pacific.
Main card, yeah.
For us.
So it should be
and
cool.
all you West Coast.
I love morning cards like that. It's so fun.
I don't mind them. If I wasn't fucking working tomorrow.
Yeah, it works out well for me. So we will call this here. But Chris, is there anything you want to plug specifically? You got any articles or anything coming out?
Yeah, any stuff I always say I'm going to do and I never do? Not right now.
Hey man, you and me both. It's how it works.
Yeah, all I will say is I'm definitely, since I got myself a nice camera, I will be taking photos when me and you both go to Del Mar Fair, right?
Yeah, we should also get you to apply for credentials at Epic.
Yes, I need
Fighting.
to do that. Yeah.
Especially now that you have a camera and you have a journalism background, I feel like there's really no reason.
I have a degree.
Yeah, there's really no reason for us not to be doing that. Plus, Epic Fighting is cool as hell. If you guys don't know about it, they're like a little amateur promotion down here.
You just need to get me there early, get me some stilts so I can take some aerial shots.
Well, no, you'll be able to get up close if you're media. So.
That is true, yeah.
So it wouldn't even be a problem, yeah. And it's not like there's a ton of media.
I'll just say, this is my media assistant here, or some winter bullshit tagging. So you just get
I'll carry the camera around for a while or something.
Yeah.
But, no, I believe Harvey Castellano, I want to say is his name, is the only guy, really, that covers, like, small AMI events that I see regularly. I think he also does PR for Epic. I'm not sure. So, anyway, look for that coming up. Also, me and Chris and I, being fancy, are going to try and cover the AMI fights at the Del Mar Fair this year.
Yep.
If you guys don't know about the Del Mar Fair, it's a fucking uppity white person fair. Imagine whatever...
In San Diego County?
Yeah, imagine whatever fair you guys have in your city, but then, like, the uppity beach version of it. Where, like, there's still trash food, but also all the carnies are, like, from Carlsbad and shit like that.
Carlsbad, Encinitas, Oceanside, trickles down. Yeah, Northern San Diego County. Well, all of who am I kidding? All of San Diego goes.
Yeah, maybe some Riverside heads working the carnival and shit like that. It doesn't get too weird, so... but Sam Alvey was there last year. We had pics on the website from that, and we will have more this year.
I was looking forward to the craft beer tent, spending a shitload of money on that.
Yeah, there's a couple of those. I believe they're normally sponsored by a beer
I think you just gotta get a ticket package there, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's pretty
just
dope.
Fucking Uber.
Anyway, we are way off topic, so we'll wrap this here. But as always, you guys can follow us on Twitter, The Sound of Violence, Twitter, TSOV Pod. You can email the show, chris@thesoundofviolence.com. Hit us up. Also, we have a YouTube channel where every week I try to add all of the videos of the podcast we recommend into like a big old playlist. So for each episode, if you go to our YouTube channel, there's like an episode for this 177 podcast recommendations where we have all the shows we recommend checking out. So give that a sub and a like. And any ratings you can give us wherever you're listening, whether it's Stitcher or iHeartRadio or fucking iTunes or Google Play or Podcast Addict or wherever the fuck you're listening, if you give us a rating, we would always appreciate it. It helps other people catch it onto the show. And I think that's about it, man. So, until next time, this is the weediest beer I've ever drank, New Belgium, the Hemperor. Holy fucking shit. My whole face smells like weed. Chris, you got anything else?
Nope.
Alright, well, until next time, everybody, go do something decadent. Yeah.